Let's come.
Sure. You want to do it right now?
We can.
Okay.
Dallas, are we on? Okay. All right. Well, welcome everybody to the meeting. We already called it to order. We said the pledge and we prayed. Anyway, now you're up to speed. The first item on the agenda was county personnel or public comment. I called for that. And if anyone is out there in video land and wants to come in again, we will make time for you if we have it. Today's actually a pretty busy meeting, but if you got something to say, we want to hear it. Gosh, you come right through the door. Are you here for county, county personnel or public comment? Yeah, come on. The time is now.
Well. Good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to let you know, you had asked about how many titles when we talked about the 250 fee that would be starting as of January. So I did a quick rough thing, and that's gonna bring not all titles account for it, so a little over 6,000 in my special MVT.
Okay, so
And that's only charging on titles. But, I mean, we're not charging on renewals and all that, where some counties do, but. What the state said, they're not gonna help us continue to pay for the motor vehicle system. So we gotta.
So that's $6,000 a year. Is that right? So 2,200 titles or so?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's about 26. Like I said,
26,
It's just a rough,
Oh,
a little over 6,000.
okay.
okay,
So I let you guys know that since you're not
sure.
about
So it's about $500 a month.
it. Yeah, if you divide it down, see how the breakdown, I didn't break it down per
Right,
month,
right. Okay.
but yeah.
So I'm always interested in any, we think of the county as a business.
Mhm.
Okay. So anything that changes the way we do business from the previous year, we always we want to know about it and we want to know why. And you've done a good job of explaining all that. And so that's how my mind works.
Yes,
It's about a $500 a month change to the county.
Right, yeah.
At the current state.
Yes, and like I said, it goes into special MVT, so I can use it for payroll, for motor vehicle clerks. Anything that is used for special MVT, I mean, I can't just use it for the general office supplies, and if I have some kind of a supply in the office like that, but something that would be specific to the motor vehicle
Right.
or majority motor vehicle, I could use that money with it.
So can you walk through one more time how this was originated, how it came to you?
The special account, that is something the state set up. It is the money initially back 1,000 years ago. That was the money that was given to the county out of the registration part of the motor vehicles so that the county could use it to help pay for the motor vehicle process and motor vehicle systems, because that's actually a state job. We're doing the state's job
Okay.
for that.
That's a perfect
And-
explanation. So
Yeah.
when I get asked about it,
Mhm.
I always like to be able to explain why it happened, when it happened. And it's kind of like an unfunded mandate when the state does this to these local agencies. The state comes in and says, you have to do this.
Right.
So,
And every county, I don't have my numbers in front of me, every county is underfunded by the state because we have not had a raise to our motor vehicle fund from the state. And what they say, it's been over 50 years or
Right.
something.
Right.
Like 50 years, it's been something stupid. And so, it costs 150,000 to run the motor vehicle office,
right,
and they're giving us 50,000. So
right.
that's coming out of county money essentially. I mean, to do that, but for state business, they don't pay for the equipment. When they first went to this new mover system, they brought us in all the equipment. And then from then on, if we have to replace it,
Sure.
that's out of county pocket.
Sure.
The
So they
printers,
put the burden back on the
computers,
individual
They did,
counties.
and they're not covering costs, so. And they said, well, prove to us that you can't cover the costs. So by us not using this option we have, which is again, throwing it back on the taxpayer,
Sure.
the state's not going to even talk to us. at this
See,
point.
to the normal Brown County resident, who obviously they don't know this because
Right.
this isn't under their purview. But
Mhm.
these are the kind of things that we can explain to our
Uh-huh.
constituents when they are saying costs keep going up or complaining. These are the kind of things you can look back and go, look, we provide all of this and we go out of pocket every year.
Mhm.
What the state covers is a third of the way you're describing it, basically.
Yeah,
And so those are important
Yeah.
things to let people know.
Right, yes, yeah,
So-
so that's why I wanted to let you guys know this. The other thing I wanted to make sure and reiterate, I think I mentioned it, but like all farmers that are claiming farm exempt, we have to have that schedule up. Too many people are saying, oh, I'm agricultural exempt because they're using a piece of equipment to water their lawn.
Right.
No, you don't file the schedule up, then you don't get the farm
I'm
exempt.
glad you brought that up because I had somebody hit me up last week about a Schedule F that was unhappy.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so-
that's, they say it's private information.
So.
Yes, it has your information on there, but do you know how much of your private information we have up there? We are
So,
owned by
again, do you
private people.
know, back in the old days, we keep talking about that. Did they have to provide a Schedule F 10 years ago?
No,
Okay,
They did
so
not.
there was, at some point, there was a change, right? And I'm sure that change came from the state.
it is up to us at the county in my office to enforce that, some kind of proof. If you're going to get that exemption.
So are there other ways to provide proof other than a Schedule F?
That's ultimately what you're providing, saying that the state says you're a farmer or the IRS says you're a farmer.
Okay.
Can it be redacted?
As in, I mean, we cross off like social security.
Like the bottom line, the number.
So
'Cause I
that's a
do-
great point. So if it was a redacted Schedule F, that basically it shows that they are a farmer, but it doesn't show you necessarily what they generate in
I'll
income.
have to ask the state, because they
Okay.
tell us so many things can't be crossed off, this and that.
Because I look at it the same way. I'm the same way. I hate giving my information out. And I know that seems petty, but I understand when somebody comes to me and says, I don't want anybody knowing other than the IRS,
Yeah,
what I'm making.
yeah.
So if they could redact the, basically,
I haven't been told that they can, but I will ask into it. Ultimately, it's like. I mean, I get privacy, I'm a very private person myself, but we don't care, we're taking it and it's there. and we're-
you know what, you
Yeah.
don't, and I understand that, and we trust you in the position you're in, but I also know that information gets out all the time. How, not from here, I'm just saying we hear about it all the time in the news where people's personal information has got out there. So when somebody comes to me and they're upset about that, I can understand why they're upset because I feel the same way about certain things.
Yeah.
And so if we as a county need to have that Schedule F, which you've explained very eloquently, I understand, we've got to do that. But maybe there are concessions we can make that make people feel a little more comfortable.
I'd have to check with the state to see if what they would know as far as the redacted.
So back up a little bit, I missed that. What do you have to have with it? What's the deal? I mean,
Schedule F.
for
This-
what?
If you buy farming equipment like a trailer, side by side, they're the big thing. Nobody wants to pay sales tax on those, so they say, I use it for agricultural purposes. Dealerships are giving out the agricultural exemption to somebody who lives in town. Says, oh, here, well, you can use it to water your trees. Sure, okay. And so they're giving it to them and they bring that to us.
Basically trailers and side by side.
Trailers side by sides, because farm trucks aren't sales tax exempt. And that's all it's for, is just to make sure the correct people are getting the
Yeah,
correct
no.
exemption.
You are doing your job.
Yeah,
And I appreciate that. It's not questioning you. I'm just trying
No,
to
I
understand the process. So am I correct in going forward in 2026 that side by sides are not going to be under personal property tax?
that's correct.
Okay,
There.
so this is a problem that's kind of correcting itself on certain items.
What they'll have sales tax.
The sales tax is separate from personal property
Yeah,
tax.
correct.
And I'll tell you what, that's gonna hurt the county and our revenue,
Sure.
because all the toys that are out there,
Right.
boats, airplanes,
Sure.
side by sides, and we're losing all that revenue.
Understand.
Because
That's
somebody
the,
gets tired of
that,
that.
that is a great thing to bring up. When we are trying to run budgets more lean and we're constantly up against things that actually take revenue away from us.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is the kind of information that we as commissioners have to get out to the residents of Brown County, saying, do you understand what we're up against? Because it would be interesting to know going forward what that amount is in 2026.
It would be, and I should get with the appraiser's office to see what kind of
Sure.
report was, and see exactly what's personal property and see what kind of a
So,
Bridge.
we had
Can't
some,
change it, but
had that number somewhere when it was doing the budget, I think, how much
that's what I
came in
thought,
from.
seeing some.
Yeah.
Person.
Anyway, that was kind of all I wanted to do, and I also thought I would let you all know that I have been chosen in for 2026. I am one of only 2 Kansas County treasurers that has been chosen as a national representative for our national association called NACFO, National Association of County Collectors, Treasurers, and Financial Officers. Just, yeah, NACCTFO.
Yeah,
So what's the cause and effect of that?
We have to go to Washington?
But I can go to the national meetings, bring information back to the county, to the County Treasurers Association, and just represent, have representation for Kansas. And the association pays for my travel and stuff to those meetings.
You gonna
There's
go?
really one big one a year, but there's other, Zoom or things like that, so.
Are you gonna go?
Oh, yeah, I'll go. National meeting,
Yeah.
in July.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, NACTFO, that is a unusually cumbersome acronym.
It is.
It is National Association County Collectors, Treasurers, Financial Office.
All right. Well, that's great.
But,
Good for you.
I try to be involved in our organization, and it's a great way to do it, and communicate with other states to hear what's going on. That's how we learned about some of the solar stuff, wind stuff, and some of the problems it caused, because it started that direction and moved this direction.
Correct.
So it's a way to bring information back.
Yeah, excellent.
Right on.
So that term cause and effect, again, I want to reiterate, we're not questioning you why like, as if you're doing something wrong. This is all learning, and our job, part of our job is to disseminate information out to people. And
Yeah,
it's
to
funny because
understand
just last
why
week, the
and-
Schedule F came up.
Yeah.
You know,
There's some people that don't like it. And I get it, and it's just because they don't want information, but there's no bank accounts, there's no, there is your FEIN or social, that is redacted, that is blacked out. But the other information, other than, yes, it may say money values and things,
right.
there's no way of stealing personal information off of
Correct.
those. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing, it's just too many people are coming in and trying to get out of paying sales tax for stuff, and so that's the only way we can black and white it. To be fair to everybody. I may know you're a farmer,
Sure.
but if I say, oh, well, I know you're a farmer, so therefore you don't have to have it.
So
John Doe out here, I don't know is a farmer. and
I also know that when I deal with the FSA office, for instance, I have paperwork that they provide after they evaluate your operation. They send you something from the government, and I remember the verbiage was something like, you are an individual who is actively engaged in farming, according to the United States government. Is that also a form that would be acceptable?
I'd have to ask, because the state tells us you can use this form. They
Okay,
don't tell us we can use that form.
okay.
And
So right now, they're telling you
on
the
things.
schedule.
What about this? What about that? On other situations, they're like, well, no, and we're like, but they wouldn't have this if they didn't have that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I just need to check and see what
Sure.
falls acceptable. So.
Okay.
Perfect.
Right on. Thanks a lot.
Okay, yep. Have a good day.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right. Okay, we got 4 minutes, I guess, before we open the hay bids. So, any other comments? Seeing none, we'll roll on. First, what do you want to talk about the 4 minutes? The gap insurance.
I don't think that's enough to get into.
All right,
So maybe
let's
we
go to
can-
minutes
we
then.
can-
Accounts payable.
I do not. I looked at it this morning, and I don't have anything on the particular AP.
Bill? It's all right. It's all right.
That was the one where you had a note that. Right, exactly.
My question was on the ambulance. It was not, I thought it was lower than it usually is, is that because they ran the tax. Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
Anything else? How much short was it? 15,000 or 7,000?
Yeah, much that should be.
How do we run short in that fund? Just if there's a short answer. Okay,
And it's usually about 50, so it's.
yeah, 50,833. Okay. All right, well, if there's no other questions, comments on the accounts payable, is there?
We also did the dump trailer again, but that's all right. Anyway. but
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
We
you.
also had rented a dump trailer again, but
We do not have a dump trailer. We have flatbed trucks that we can use to remove limbs. On the leaves, it's a little bit different because we can't throw them on a flatbed, but we are looking at a solution on that.
All right. Okay, well then, is there a motion to approve the accounts payable for December 31st?
I would approve count payable.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Any more discussion? Moving seconded, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. That's done. All right, 8:29. The next, well, the first one, I guess we can do it. What about the minutes for last week's meeting? Is there any additions, corrections, comments on the minutes as presented?
I do not have any comments on the minutes.
All right, is there a motion to approve them as presented then?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
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 There you go. Motion carried. All right. Minutes are approved. All right. And we won't have time to do the payroll. It's about to roll over. So at 8:30, we have a bid opening for the hay ground. And it's just, oh, there is only one. Wait till it says 8:30. There it says 8:30. All right, we're gonna go ahead and open. We just have one bid. That's it.
Okay. So this is for 3 years or for?
All right, Bill, you're thinking, what are you thinking?
How many acres are there?
Good.
I think it's a little less than it has been,
Well, that stands to reason.
because they were getting that dirt off that one section.
Yeah. And also, obviously hay is up and down and hay is down right now.
Any of it? So the county reserves the right to accept or reject any and all bids, I'm sure, but we got one bid.
What it is?
I never know, there's no confidentiality here or anything. Can I read it aloud?
So because it's been open and it's public, obviously the amount can be disclosed right now.
Absolutely. So
correct?
we have one bid for the hay land at the landfill for $935 a year. It's be a 3-year contract. So
Can I just ask what the last 3-year contract, the amount was? Do we have that information? Okay. Be interesting to know. All right, how much lower?
I want you to know she's starting to anticipate. You want to ask that question too, because you see in a meeting packet, we have last 3 years information about some stuff.
She's pretty efficient.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so county clerk's looking up some information on the last time this thing was bid, to see what the number was. Just for information.
Okay. So
But there's been some disturbance to the ground. Something, yeah. Well, and I guess it also mean we sold part of it off. Is that what you mean? Well, that was mostly trees.
yeah.
There's a little bit of hay ground.
Sure.
But you're right. You're right. When we sold that little chunk off to Ian Sheets. It would have got a little.
It would have been reduced by us.
Just a fraction, an acre or two.
Also, going from where they're getting dirt to cover that, it's probably, I at one time was saying,
Were they haying behind that ditch? Well,
possibly.
okay.
I don't, I kind of took memory, but
Things ebb and flow. I would just go ahead and $935 a year. We got one bid. I would make a motion to accept the $935 per year from Ray Vonderschmidt. And go ahead and enter into that contract with him.
We're talking in the grand scheme of things, we're talking about $600 difference
Right.
per year over the next 3 years.
I'd be $10 an acre.
So I got a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I will I will second.
There you go. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any more discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carried. Bid accepted.
It's mine.
$935 a year. Is there something I need to sign for that? No? Okay. Okay, well, how about I just do this? Sign it in. Okay, that is done. Now we're back on our own time here. Number 2 on the is payroll. Are there any questions, comments on that?
Yeah. So there was. 968 SP commercial. It was only once in the whole year it was listed there, it was for $69.68. It was just, I think that's what it said.
Oh.
It was on the. It wasn't.
It was its own category.
Yeah, it's about. Fourth, 5 went up and bottom. Up there, it's it. That was the only time which. It was
I see.
commercial,
He's on the sheet with
the front sheet.
Separate file.
well, he's on payroll and then
At the beginning of it.
basically the what kind I can cheat and get there. Some-
What number are you
Here
on,
it is.
Tom, that you were looking at?
It's right here in paper copy. Yeah, it's not there. I'm sorry.
Look on the other. Oh, yeah, so,
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. This 968 special CMB.
And so CMV, the acronym for commercial motor vehicle.
it's, I just,
Notice
it's not necessary, but it's maybe, but it's the only time all year it showed up.
All right. So you noticed it, you don't feel the need. Or do you need more clarification?
I think if you brought it up, let's give her a call.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, just ask her. Since it was the only time.
Phone friend. Here's Hey Dallas, were you able to send Austin a link? Or he sounded like he was gonna call in this morning. Hey John, how are you?
Okay.
Okay, so it was paid to the treasurers.
Good question. Good answer.
So it's okay. I think we've got it.
Yes.
Bill had brought it up just because it happened only one time this year and it showed up and he was doing his job.
So, come here and look. So. Down here it says. Line here, and so there's nothing there. Nothing there, and there's nothing there. Oh, there's one done. Right there, that's one down short of all your.
Yes, yeah, that's the only time I pulled money out of it for payroll.
Okay,
Very good.
thank you. Sorry to have you come back down. Getting your steps in.
So Bill, there have been comments made that stuff like that is micromanaging. And I totally disagree. That's our job. And I commend you for when you ask those kind of questions. So,
What else are we doing?
yeah, it's not micromanaging, it's doing your job. So,
So, yeah, so we don't know what's going on. We need to know.
correct.
All right, well, is there any more questions or comments on payroll? And if not, if so, go ahead, but if not, is there a motion to approve? It has presented.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, it's
payroll.
been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any more discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. That's approved. 30 number.
Back up a little bit
Certainly.
on it was in accounts payable, we only paid one person for. Snow removal. Oops, that one person.
No, actually, there's another person that, in fact, I made a call in yesterday. I think I spoke with Nikki a little bit and I also made a call and talked with Tammy. Because one of the other individuals that did 4 hours didn't get his time turned in. So I was gonna talk about that later.
Oh.
Just, so coming up with a way to make sure that doesn't happen.
Sorry, I should wait. Should wait.
No problem.
It's all right. That's all right. Okay. Now, you want to have the gap discussion?
Yeah, I think it's a good time.
Okay.
And actually Nikki provided in here, there was a list of the people, or the number of people that it potentially. The only thing I was wondering, Nikki, is the
It's,
amounts of the potential, you don't know.
I just times it by just 4,000 is what I assume.
Well, I know one of them was considerably lower than that, so,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I just wanted
there was
to
one individual that it was $170.
Oh,
Which is good for the average to bring the money down.
yeah, that would.
But, my comment on it?
Go ahead.
Okay, so,
We're talking about the gap.
we're talking about the gap right now. So in an effort to review expenses, we'd noted that gap insurance was a large expense per year. And we had made a decision to forego offering gap insurance, which is a supplemental benefit offered. I don't know if people understand how the gap insurance works, but it's not, with a lot of organizations, it's not something that's offered in the current budget crunch that we're in. At this current time, we feel that the cost of the county is enough that we need to forego that right now. So we made a decision as commissioners to not re-up gap insurance for 2026.
Mhm.
As with everything, here's cause and effect again. We believed when making that decision that the current year people can use it the way that they bought into it and it would not affect them next year, meaning they wouldn't have to pay anything out of pocket. And as it turns out, because of the way
Page 74.
that this is paid out, if the EOB, which is an explanation of benefits, does not come back from the insurance company by a certain date, then our insurance company would reject it. Is that correct? We can't process it. So therefore it doesn't get paid, whatever. So I feel as a commissioner that we're doing the right thing. We're saving money next year. But if our employees are impacted financially, we should cover that as the county. Because again, sometimes things cost to to save money. And this would be one of those things where it's not the employee's fault that this is happening. So I spoke with our attorney about it and he looked into it, and legally we have the right to do that if the commissioners want. That was my main concern, is can we do this? Are there any ramifications as a government agency? And Austin was saying that after he looked into it, we have the right to do this. So
We have the right to do what?
we have the right to basically say, if 2 employees or 3 employees or 4 employees had a procedure at the end of the year, and because the insurance company doesn't get the EOB back to our office by the time we need to provide it to the insurance company, then that cost, that additional cost would fall on the employee. And I don't believe that's right. We're ending something in good faith to save us money next year. So I think that we should find those amounts, look at each case and determine what that amount would be. And I'm trying to make the employee whole is what I'm trying to do.
So what we're saying is, are you saying if you had a procedure in 2025
Mhm.
and it carried on over the,
No, it's not that it carries on.
I mean,
And we offer this gap insurance in good faith. They participate, they pay for the gap insurance. It's not no, the county's actually making that payment. Okay, but it was an offer that we offered. And the agreement is if they have procedures within 2025 fiscal year, that gap insurance will pick up certain costs that the health insurance does not pick up. Okay. And so the employees are having or did have those procedures. They're not waiting till next year. That's correct, right? And because of a paperwork thing where it takes time to get that EOB back. So in other words, if we would have looked at this and said, okay, well, we're going to have to explain to the employees that they have to have the procedure no later than October in order to get the EOB back, or November, right? That's the only way this situation would not have happened. Okay, so the employees are doing what they normally would do. They're having the procedure done in this calendar year, but as it turns out, we're telling them, well, we're sorry, the insurance companies aren't quick enough. We should be able to call the insurance company, and in a normal business atmosphere, we should be able to expedite that EOB, but that doesn't happen. It can't happen.
so it's just, see, things were done in this year, but they weren't billed. We didn't get the bills.
Things were done in the last quarter of this year,
Okay,
and we're waiting on the explanation of benefits, which comes from the insurance company. And that could be 2 weeks, that could be a month, correct? It could be 2 months.
Had the gap program, the insurance word makes it confusing because it's a county funded program that the county offers as a benefit. It's
Right.
not insurance. It's just county funds that pay for the deductible. So if this program was going to be in effect for 2026 and some people were in the spot they are right now, the EOB would come in 26, correct? And then it would just be paid. So. Okay, so if things would have taken off as normal, it would have been paid. That's
Correct.
okay. So this well, there's a few people here that got caught in having a procedure. Some of them got the amount from the hospital, but I don't think any of them got the amount from the insurance company to complete the cycle.
Yeah, and that paperwork is called an explanation of benefits
Right.
in the EOB.
Right. So this thing is funded. The GAP program was funded through the employee benefits budget line item. When I looked, I don't see there's no specific GAP number. Right? So it's not like it's a pot of money that's just sitting,
Correct.
but
But if you remember there's an estimated amount that we do for gap insurance.
so
That estimated amount was when the budget was being.
so it's really not.
Okay, so.
But I'm not leading you anywhere. I'm just trying to explain this because some misinformation got out there and we need to call that out because
Okay.
there is no gap pot of money that we can just pull from to pay this out. It's part of the employee benefits budget, but it isn't listed separately. All I'm trying to do is correct.
So correct me
where
if I'm
somebody
wrong.
led them wrong.
Correct me if I'm wrong. When we were talking about this and why we would end it,
Mhm.
the amount that we thought was the potential savings was $79,000 a year.
You're right.
Okay, that amount is based off of a history.
Right.
Okay, so I understand that there isn't an account waiting to pay them.
Okay,
We're looking at basically potential cost for next year.
Right.
Right?
right,
And so our effort that we made was to save that potential cost next year.
right. I just wanted to make the point. I just wanted to clarify. Okay,
Whether the money's sitting in an account or it could possibly be spent, that is a liability to the county, and we're looking to reduce those liabilities.
I think we're on the same page.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Just trying to explain it out loud for the benefit of what, as you said, disseminating the information. So I was using an $85,000 number
Okay.
versus 79, but we're close.
It's right there.
Okay, so this is, you spoke with the attorney, I spoke with the attorney, I spoke with our insurance broker. Bill, do you have any comment?
That's fine. I mean, I agree,
You agree? What?
but we should cover that.
Okay? Okay,
I mean, the bills there, we're just paying the bills that should have been. But they've been, the bills have been submitted when that work was done. Was there? So
Okay.
we're just covering that.
so then if it's gonna be the commissions, now I'm gonna ask the people, so we know if the commission, the body feels like they should go one way. I'm sure the employees that fall under this are fine, but it does create some sort of bookkeeping issue. Well, then do we need? How do we handle this? I mean, basically, this is the last day of the year. Do we need to? Well, what is the correct procedure? Because you're right, there needs to be some sort of end time. in line.
Okay, so the correct procedure is we have a list of employees that have had these procedures, correct? Okay, so we need to make sure, and again, the cutoff is if they have it Jan 1, we're not gonna cover it.
So you wanna go like first quarter, maybe process 2025. EOBs, the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're estimating that all the EOBs will be in within the first quarter of next year. That's a reasonable estimate. Okay, so if we say that we're going to continue to cover these, we will push the insurance company whatever we can to make sure that that EOB is back by within the first quarter.
So devil's advocate, is there any managerial sense in limiting it to the people on our list, the people that have notified?
I don't understand the question. So,
Well, so instead of keeping it,
Hey. Oh, and they were.
well,
I don't need to do that, but then.
no,
That's what
I think we have the responsibility to disseminate that information out that, are there any employees that were notified? If this isn't going to be paid, please, if you've had something in this last quarter, please notify us. When it first started, there were 2 employees. So the list has grown. So all we can do is ask the county employees to get this information out through the division heads. We need to know, did you have something done? And realistically, it's the people that had procedures done maybe November, December. Because the OB doesn't usually take 3 months.
okay, so then there is no timeline or no deadline on when it was done in 25, but there is a timeline to get the EOB back by the end of the first quarter.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Right.
So the first quarter is March 1, is that the right date?
March 31st.
March 31st, I'm sorry, 90 days. Okay, so March 31st. So then, any more discussion? So if a guy was gonna make a motion, the motion would sound something like, we are going to extend the GAP program to cover employees who had procedures done in 2025, but were not able to get the correct paperwork in the system. However, the program will terminate
Correct.
the end of the first
The
quarter.
program is terminating. In other
That's
words,
a hard term.
they can, any procedure that they have in 2026 will not be covered.
The 2026 will not be covered, but any 2025 procedure done, but no paperwork turned in
Correct.
by March 31st. Then is not, and then it's just over. So that was my motion. It was lengthy.
It's lengthy, but you covered.
She will, I guess there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I would second that motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any other discussion? Okay, if not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. All right, motion carried. All right. Anything else? You were here, John, when we walked right past you for Road and Bridge. So, because we started on that, do you still want to talk to us about?
Yeah. One thing Richard and I spoke
Can you come up here so people can hear you? Yes. Sorry.
Richard and I spoke about yesterday. And we got that resolved. And the other issue is in District 1, we pretty much exhausted our smaller tubes, which is used by the county and by the townships. Do you want District 1 to move to District 3 to use some of that inventory over there, or do you want us to order more tubes?
So obviously you're asking all the commissioners if I could speak first on that. Go ahead. My opinion would be if the county already has that in their possession, I don't care if it's District 1, 2, or 3. I appreciate you asking because I know in the past you would have been using something that came out of another budget. And I appreciate you doing that. But in good faith, again, we are one county. So if we have those, let's use them up before we order more.
Yep. And we
That would be my opinion.
we didn't
Bill?
budget.
Use most of them. I mean, I don't think you want to put out or, but it's,
What's the lead time, John, on those usually?
I think it takes like, what, maybe 6 weeks maybe to get them.
Okay, so that is some lead
Month
time.
and a half. They come out of Topeka. Of course, it's bid. Depends on who gets the low bid.
Sure. So do you know how many we have within the county? It doesn't matter what district, but within the county, how many of those do we have approximately?
I don't know a total.
Okay,
I did
so,
a tube count at the end of the year or before I went to take off.
and in a normal year, I know there is no such thing, but how many of those tubes do you think the county would go through on a normal year? 100?
We haven't ordered tubes for 4 years
Okay. So is it 25 tubes or 100 tubes?
between just the county itself,
Mhm.
including the big ones. I would say probably maybe in a normal year for us would probably be 6 to 8.
Okay, so it sounds like we have an item that is typically takes 6 weeks to get. And like Bill was saying, could we look at the remaining that we have within the county and then make a decision on, once they get to a certain amount, we reorder a certain amount at that time? That way we don't just run out like he's saying and go, okay, we have nothing for 6 weeks, because that's a position we don't want to be in.
Right.
so these are mostly driveway tubes, right? You're talking about,
The smaller ones, yeah, that the townships use,
right?
so, but
Are those 24-inch or what size?
no, it's 12, 18s, 15s.
Okay,
Last tube count I know that Bill did was like 132 tubes in District 1 or 3.
There's a lot of them there.
There's a lot of them that are just laying there.
okay. Well, I think I'm glad that you're asking. I think
Because
that,
when the townships come to get them, they'll bring a big trailer
sure.
and we just shoot them over to Fairview instead of hauling over ourselves or whatever the situation is.
No, so the old adage was always, it's better to be looking at it than looking for it. And obviously I understand why we stockpile them. But I think what we're doing right now is we're taking a more aggressive approach of not stockpiling as much stuff in order to make sure we're not just having stuff sitting there that cost us money and may not be used for a couple of years. That's the way I would like to try to get, and I know the other commissioners feel the same. We want to get back to where we're taking a look at how much we usually use and then base our stockpile on that.
So you did say something, and this caught my attention. We hadn't bought tubes for several years, but did you mean your district?
Our district.
Your district,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
We purchased tubes right before COVID.
Because we did take a tube bid in May or in late April.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that went to District 3.
So normally, in a normal situation, you hit it right on the head. Is this something that takes 6 months to get? Then we better have them on stock. It takes 6 weeks, it's not, but also the trend would be if we're seeing the price of metal skyrocket, that's another time that we'd do that. But in a normal market where metal prices aren't necessarily, going up considerably, then there's no reason to bring them in.
Right.
If if we knew that there was gonna be a huge increase in 2026, then that's when we'd take a look and say, let's stockpile.
One more question. Are we required to have one hand for the townships? I think we just, to me, that's probably just a service we give to the townships, but I'm not saying we would it, sure.
Another side.
Well, I've heard a lot of people say that, you know, the county shouldn't be the supplier, meaning we should take a look at that. And I know in the past, we've always had them on hand in the town as a convenience. The townships can come to us, but maybe that's not what we want to be.
Well,
So-
we don't make any money off of it.
Correct, correct. But I also, that's a perfect example. If we're doing something that's helping another agency out within the county, that's great. But if it's costing us money within our budget, then we need to take a look at it. And I think that's exactly what we're doing right now. If this was a business, you would have a purchasing department, and those purchasing agents would be looking at all the factors, escalation costs, time to get and all that. You guys, in a sense, become our purchasing agents by coming to us and telling us where we're at. So,
So in sum, on, know what you're gonna do?
Well, if it's okay, we'll just go to District 3 and we'll kind of keep a running inventory over there, what we pull out. And Tammy will also see it, because there will be an invoice made to who it goes to.
sure.
And she has a list of how many tubes are over there, so.
All right.
So can you just give me a call when you know how many tubes are over there? And then in our workshop meetings where we can discuss stuff like this a little more freely, we can go, let's make an educated guess on what we need and purchase based off of that.
Tammy has that information there.
Okay,
Okay, right on.
perfect.
It's almost 9 o'clock. I hate
Okay.
to rush you away, but thanks
All
for
right.
coming in.
So we'll go ahead and pull out of District 3 until
Correct.
inventory gets low.
Correct.
All right.
We'll go ahead and pull out Brown County's inventory. How's that?
Former District 3.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it. I
Happy
know-
New Year.
Thank you for coming in. I know that it's Happy New Year.
Okay, well, it's 9 o'clock and it's time for the Neighborhood Revitalization Plan public hearing. So we have a little script here I'll read from, but I would go ahead and move to open the public hearing to consider the adoption of a new neighborhood revitalization plan in Brown County that would be effective January 1, 2026 through December 31, 2035. Is there a second?
We'll second that motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, the public hearing is open. Okay, the first is public comment and discussion. So is there any? Morning, everybody. And please, if you have some discussion, please come on up and speak right into that. Tell us who you are and then tell us what you got.
Who wants to be first?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Kenneth Belden, Mayor of Hamler,
Oh, okay.
and I didn't know we were even participating in it, so kind of new at this, so
Well, listen, quite a bit of this stuff I'm new at, obviously, so asking questions, don't.
what is it actually is? That's what I want to know.
Lucas, do you want to talk on it?
Yeah, I can. Okay, so what is the neighborhood revitalization
Yeah.
program? Okay, it's essentially, it's an incentive to encourage, new construction, remodeling, anything that I guess would improve a structure that would cause a significant tax, a property tax, valuation increase. And then it basically gives that back to the owner or the builder over a period of time.
Okay,
There's a schedule in here. In the plan. I don't have the percentages off. Here it is. So like in year 1 through 3, 95% of the increased valuation or the increased property tax would go back to the owner. And then it tapers down after that, 85% in year 4, down to year 10, it'd be 25%. And then after that, then it's just at the back.
right. That's what I needed to know,
Okay.
because we have a person that's gonna put a house in over in Hamlin.
Hmm.
So She wanted to know this.
So it's also, in what we run into on this side of the desk, and we're trying to get more information out. This is a program that has some requirements, part of which is notification. So before any construction commences, the appraiser's office needs to be notified that something's gonna happen, because there is an approval process. I think there's a $35 permit fee to do this. And then the wheels are in motion.
Okay.
Sometimes in the county, people will build or remodel and we'll find out, well, shoot, there's a neighborhood revitalization program I could have qualified for, but with very few exceptions, it's too late once you start.
Going to start. All right. That's all I needed to know.
Okay, and what was your last name again?
Belden, Belden,
And your first name?
Kenneth.
Kenneth, so if I could just speak for a minute. So another thing I want you to understand is this program was in place for 10 years already. Okay, in Brown County
Or more.
or more. I don't know when the inception was. It could be in place for the last 20 years. I don't know, but there was a 10-year period that was ending. And we happen to be the commissioners when it's ending. So
Okay.
then we make a decision. Do we continue this program or do we just say, no, we're not doing it anymore? Okay, so this isn't something that we thought up and said, hey, why don't we do this?
Yeah.
We look at it as you're a mayor of a township, so you see things that are happening within your community. We're looking at the overall community. And so the goal of the three commissioners that are up here, I'm speaking on behalf of them, but we've discussed this, is we're trying to figure out ways that we can slow the decline of population in Brown County. Okay,
Mhm.
so Brown County has a declining population,
Yes.
along with many counties. It's not a problem solely that lies within Brown County.
Right.
Okay, so different agencies look at ways to incentivize people to want to live here or maybe move here. And one of those ways is when somebody might be thinking about, I think I might move my business to Brown County, or I might move to Brown County. There are a lot of factors that go into that. And so we look at those factors. One of them is, does that community have pride, or the area is nice? Would somebody want to build a new house there? Okay. And so this program, some people think it's kind of a subsidy, but what it is you pay your taxes to the county. You fill out paperwork and you get approved to be in this program. Your taxes are paid, and then the county gives you a percentage of those taxes back. And that's what when you see 95% for the first 3 years, that's what we're talking about.
All right.
Okay. And again, why are we doing this? Some people would say, why do people get a break on their taxes? We're saying, well, those people have fallen within the requirements of this plan, and they are improving our county. They're
Yeah.
improving it by building a new building, building a new house, and fixing up an old house or whatever. And therefore, they're going to have an incentive to do that, because I've talked to people that literally have built buildings in Brown County versus other counties because of the NRP. That's a true statement. Okay. That's why the program is there. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to incentivize somebody to say, normally I wouldn't spend another $50,000 on this old building, but I think I'm going to do it. And I'm going to receive a break on my taxes for the next 10 years by doing it. The
Okay.
county gets something that's fixed up that adds to the overall county. And a lot of people don't understand the program, and I didn't understand the program until I started asking questions about it. But that's the reason it's coming up right now. It was expiring,
All
and it
right.
had been in place for at least 10 years.
So I didn't know that. I've been mayor for a few years, so.
Right. So one of the things we're trying to do is we're not looking back at why people don't know about it. We're saying people don't seem to know about it. So how can we get that information out?
Yeah.
And so
You
we're
want
going
to tell him some of the differences between this plan and the one that's expired?
Why don't you tell them? Because it's basically the percentages.
It is.
And also the amount, but
The program that's expired, the NRP that's expiring, was a 5-year, 75%.
Okay.
So we made a decision to go to a 10-year with that graduated scale.
Okay.
We also changed the amount to make make it eligible for the program. We went from a $15,000 build or improvement, and we took that up to $25,000.
Mhm.
And that was done for, a host of reasons. And I think that is the two main differences. So the length of time, the amount of rebate, and then the amount that you have to spend to qualify, or the amount you have to improve to qualify. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, too, didn't we combine commercial and residential, or wasn't, there's something in there that, it used to be, we'd break it down, is it a commercial building or is it a residential building? I think we were, so.
We talked about it, but
But we had it.
So one of the things we're trying to do also, and I'm. When a business or a homeowner is deciding on where they're going to spend their money, okay?
Okay.
A lot of people look, just like the sales tax in Brown County. Okay? If we're the highest sales tax out there, then when somebody goes to buy a mower, okay, or let's say if they're outside the city limit, but if they're gonna buy something in here, they may go, well, you know what, I'm not gonna go to Brown County, I can go to Nemaha County and save money. And so this program, we looked at what other counties around us are doing, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to be just a little better. Not a whole lot, we're not trying to be, a whole lot, but we want people to go, well, there is more of an incentive for me to spend money in Brown County than there is in Nemaha.
Yep.
And so that's what how these decisions come about. It isn't like we're just, throwing out numbers. There's a lot of discussion going into it. And again, what's the goal? The goal is to slow the declining population in Brown County by making up Brown County a place that people want to invest in and live.
So you make it clear, it's not how much you spend, it's the appraised value that increase.
yeah. Right.
All right.
And we didn't mention either, and I appreciate you asking the question because you were up there a lot longer than I think you planned on. But I appreciate
That's
that.
no problem.
We worked and really Heffett did, Michaela Moore at the Heffett office, this is the one who did a lot of work to put this together. And so she came in here and we had some discussion and some back and forth. But this is a program put together by an economic development group and intended to create or just again, incentivize people to either build here, move here, refresh or rebuild.
Okay.
I just wanted to give Heffett some.
All right. That's like you got some play
All right.
good enough to me. So
Thank you.
thank you.
All right. Good luck being mayor too.
Yep.
Okay. The next person that comes up will answer your question, but we'll try to be a little more brief. Who else wants to come up? Anybody?
Sure.
All right. That's all right.
All right, Cindy
Good
Schultz.
morning. Cindy Schilling.
So, all right, I have to ask a question. So if you had an application in on the old one, you never were notified if it was approved or disapproved after you put in the paperwork, because our project was not done, but we were never notified. My question is, are we gonna be allowed, because the outside is kind of done, that we never got the inside done? Would it be something that we would be able to apply for on this one? On this time around or not, since we were never notified whether we were approved or disapproved?
I'm curiously scrolling through this document.
Are you really?
Well, because the answer is I don't know.
I know you did.
Cindy, you asked this question to me and I have been looking at, I don't want you to think that we weren't looking into it.
Oh, I know,
Okay.
and so I'm
So-
bringing it up in
So
front of
let me
everybody.
just tell you one of the things that, that I discovered in trying to figure out how the program has been working, okay? I believe that the county was not sending a letter back denying it. I believe that what they were doing was, they were telling the applicant, on the phone. I believe that's what I was told. Were you told you were denied?
Only because I called.
Okay, but it was on the phone.
On,
I understand.
Uh-huh.
So I want to tell you, one of the things that we are changing and have changed already is I believe the county, if we have an applicant, and as you know, when you apply for this, there is a time frame that you're supposed to have construction done, right?
correct.
And that current time frame, correct me if I'm wrong, is basically it's 2 years, but it could actually be
A little longer, depending
on
the
what month
situation and
what
when
month
it
you apply.
started, yes.
Right. Okay, so when I started looking into this and saying, how are we doing this? How are they applying? How are we notifying? I was told that that they are told if they call in. Okay. That is changing. We are starting a new program, you understand?
Yep, that's
Okay.
what I'm asking.
And so the county will be sending out a letter that tells you have been accepted or rejected going forward under
Okay.
the new plan. Okay, now that doesn't answer your question in your particular case. I'm just telling you that as we are implementing a new plan and asking how it happens, and because you understand it can't be subjective. It cannot be subjective.
Right,
It can't be, well, we think that you should and this person shouldn't. It has to be based off of what the verbiage is in the plan.
correct.
And so that's what he's looking at exactly. And it has to do with a specific time period. Now, the only thing that we're trying to have a little wiggle room on is if somebody came in and said, wow, I just learned about this. I've already broke ground, but I did it last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever. And we can go in and look at it and say, okay, we now can evaluate what the actual change will be
If it's new construction.
if it's new construction.
New construction.
Right. So.
So, my, I know you're still looking, so my avenue possibly would be to only probably go and protest my taxes or ask for an appeal with the appraiser because of how they have the house appraised now, because there's no way anybody would buy that house
Right,
with what it's appraised for.
Correct.
If somebody came in,
right.
because nobody's gonna go in and live in a house that has no bathrooms. No
Correct,
facilities or-
Correct. And that's absolutely your right to do that.
But that would probably be, I'm going guess, but or I could apply and you guys could turn me down.
What happens is the appraiser's office would accept or turn you down
On if I applied for the new program. is all I'm
if you
asking.
apply for the program, accept or reject. And then we would learn about that and we would look at why.
Okay,
And what we would do is we would apply the rules of the plan.
to this, where
Right,
we're at now.
correct.
Okay,
So when was construction started on that?
I wish right now my husband was here so he could explain it better.
But I believe
It was, okay, I know it was before 2020 because
right.
we were started in, I think 19, and then it got shut down in 2020 because project stuff went high. You couldn't get material very well.
Right. And there was some extensions given, I believe, in this
And
case.
They gave us another one and told us if we had it completed and that this is okay. And I believe I know who I talked to at the time. She says, go ahead and fill out the paperwork and then that way we can get it started. You'll start getting your money back on your taxes. We'll just go with the way the project is at the time, at that time. That's why I was calling, because nobody ever said anything. I never heard anything. Last I knew, it was gonna be done. We would get a break on our taxes because we applied for it. We went ahead and finished the paperwork like we were supposed to when they asked us. And nobody said anything, and nobody said anything. So I asked, and when I called up to the appraiser's office, they did not know the answer. They didn't know what happened.
So when you say they,
Mhm.
the person you spoke to in the appraiser's office, do you remember when that was?
It was in September,
Of 2025,
correct?
okay?
And so nothing happened. He said he looked into it. He never got back with me, so I just called here. And I don't know when I talked to you.
You talked to me about a week and a half.
Okay, so then I called again because I hadn't heard anything. I said, hey, and that's when he told me that, well, I think you were denied, but we denied several of them. And he said, I don't know why, is
Okay.
what the answer was.
So.
So I'm
again,
like, but I'm not
I will
gonna-
tell you in the new program going forward, there are different. We've basically put up some different rules that we'll work by.
Now, I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble. I just want to know why we weren't
You have the
notified.
right to come in and explain what's going on and.
So, because I don't think it was handled properly. And I know that there were several personnel changes at the time when I had completed the paperwork. And I know there was, there's totally different people up there now.
So I know you're looking at basically the rules that they have to live, but it would have been the old plan, not the new plan.
This was just copied over.
Okay, cut and pasted, right?
So this part. So what I was trying, so we talked about the appraiser's office. The appraiser's office is, I mean, the place to go with this.
Mhm.
But if there is, they call it remedial action here, or, well, if the owners agree by an act, commission, or whatever, they're with the county appraiser, then you come to the commission. And if you still don't get what you want, or the action that you think you deserve, then it goes to the district court.
Is this on the protest though? Or
No,
that-
the protest is this.
This is just part of it.
The protest is you're protesting the valuation of your property. That's completely separate.
So
Okay.
you're not tying us back to the NRP. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you jumped back into the NRP.
I am, but then you got me confused because like even on the paperwork you do for your protest, it has that verbiage on there too. That once you go to the appraiser, if you don't get it, then it goes to,
Okay, I'm sorry.
so that's
Didn't
what
mean
caught
to-
me, it caught me off guard when you said that. So, okay. But if you weren't notified and you don't have anything in writing, so are you telling me the phone call that I made
I mean, the
is
honest answer. I
is
know
my
is-
remedial thing and then I need to come to you guys? Is that what that's what I'm asking.
Well,
right
it's just, this
Is
is
that what you
the
said?
procedure I read is if the owner, which would be you, it's this
Which one are you looking at?
section, the 9. There is a process and procedure. You start up there, then you come down here, and if you're still dissatisfied, then I guess you take it to the next step, which is the district.
Okay. So. What do I need to bring to you guys then? Because if the phone call is how the old program worked.
Can we schedule some time to have her come in?
Yes,
Would you
that's-
be all right to come in and talk to us? Because we need to actually kind of do this.
Okay,
this
so
whole
my
process.
question is on the new one now,
Uh-huh.
is it just for new projects then? And it is for commercial buildings, correct?
For both.
For both build. So like if we have a new project that we're in the process of maybe looking at, we can apply for that.
Correct.
What you're saying. So the first year you get 95% back of your taxes. Is that what it is?
Mhm.
And then.
Of the increase.
Okay, so I said it wrong,
Yeah.
of the increase of what work was completed, and then it tapers down, correct? But it's only on the increase of the value of the property,
Correct.
right?
Right.
Okay, so that's where it is that where it differs from the Wheeler program?
It's the
It's
same.
the same, it just doesn't, okay.
It's the same. And you still pay it. You still.
Oh, I know,
And
that
it's
part I know.
Fun.
And the reason is,
Oh, that
there's a
part I
lot of
know.
people that'll say, well, I'm not gonna do that because I don't want my taxes to go up. So the program is there to incentivize people to say, fill out the program, fill out the paperwork within the terms of the program
Mhm.
and finish the project within the terms of the program.
Okay, you probably, if we can educate people on this program to the point of, yes, it may increase your taxes. However, you've increased a property that's gonna be worth more. So if you are trying to sell it, or if you're wanting to sell it, it's gonna benefit you, but it also benefits our county. I don't, we need to put a spin on it to offer, so people understand. It's not a thing that is gonna cost you more money. I mean, it does, but it doesn't, but it helps everybody in the long run. And it helps us get something going back in this county. It's
Okay, so your question is a good one, and what we are doing is, today was the day to, do we accept or reject this program? And we're
I hope
accepting
you,
it.
my hope you're,
And now we will go forward and we will make sure that we cascade that information out and get the
Yeah.
information out to people. We're gonna do it in various ways.
so,
One of them is going to be a meeting that we're gonna call and ask people to come in and talk to us about it.
well, I think you guys need to approve this program, okay? That's where I'm gonna tell you.
Do you want to schedule a time to come in and talk?
Yeah, if I do talk,
You just call the office.
you, okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy.
All right. Who's next?
Based on that conversation, you raised some questions in my mind.
Okay, introduce yourself.
My name is Russ Richardson. I'm on the council of Hamlin. and also do other tasks for the city. So I understand it's for new construction or revitalization of existing structures. And you say that it has to be done, you have to apply through the appraiser's office, and there's an application process and you pay a fee.
Mhm.
And that there's rules. Where are these rules so that we can get a copy of these rules? So that we can inform the people in our town of this program, because I'm pretty sure nobody knows anything about this program in our town. Because I know I bought a place and rebuilt it in 2010. Sunk quite a lot of money into it and
How long have you lived
and
here?
knew nothing about this program.
How long have you lived here?
2010, I moved in,
2010,
I moved
okay.
into my place. Bought it in,
And you didn't
And-
realize that there was an active program that was
No.
already going on? Okay.
bought it in June. And rebuilt it and moved in the last part of August of 2010.
Okay.
So what that tells me is we need to be able to inform our citizens in the town what the rules and regulations are of this program,
Mhm.
so that they understand the approval or denial process. Because right now, in my mind,
So if I can answer that. We are adopting a new program going forward that's going to go another 10 years.
Okay.
And we are going to get this information now that it's been adopted today. Okay,
That's not yet.
Not yet, we're in discussion.
we're in discussion,
Right.
but today is the day to push this thing forward. That's why we're having this hearing, okay? And when and if it passes, we, going forward, are going to get that information out through various, whether it's media, whether it's meetings, whatever, okay? Again, this has been going on for years,
right,
and some people know about it and some people don't. We cannot fix
oh,
in the past
understand.
how
We
they
can't
got
fix
that information out. We can fix how we will get this information out.
And
We appreciate the fact that you're recognizing what we're recognizing.
Right.
Is we need, as the county needs to do a better job of getting this information out, and we will.
Right.
So the county in the past put it in newspapers, and then put it on the website.
Mhm.
And that would be sufficient.
Right.
Well, but it wasn't because people like.
Yeah,
you didn't
well,
do
but
it.
Right.
see that, you said the program's been in place more than 10 years. It's,
I know it was in place at least the last 10 years. I don't know about that before, but again, it's something that that has been in place that you could have taken advantage of over the last 10 years while you were living here. So we recognize that the county needs to do a better job of making sure people are aware of it, and it will be on the county website. The rules will be there.
And it has
And-
been, yeah.
and so the rules will explain
Absolutely.
what they will explain their approval or denial process, meaning this is what it has to be approved.
So.
This is
we'll do
what's
the same
going to
thing you and I
occur
did for
if
cities.
it's
So-
denied.
So part of the plan in the document actually is a section here with all the requirements for what to basically to meet the requirements of the program. Everything,
Plan that's on the website under the public notice, so.
yeah. And if you need the short form, then you call the appraiser's office and walk you through. It's really pretty, it's not very.
It's not intense at all.
Yeah.
All right.
And again, what we're doing is we're trying to make it so it's objective, not subjective. We can't sit here and go, well, we like this project, we don't like that project.
Well-
It's, do you apply by a certain date? Is the project completed within the terms?
And
Then it
that's
gets
basically
accepted.
what I'm asking for is
Because,
that information will be disseminated, because like,
sure,
you know, for like our town, they come to us and apply for a permit if they're doing new builds and stuff.
right.
And so we as a council vote it and approve it or deny it. And we give them the reason for the approval or the reason for the
Right.
denial. And we have ordinances, depending on what type of builds that they are doing, that are covered under specific ordinances.
And how many times have you been told we didn't realize we had to get a permit?
No,
That's another thing, just
because
like,
we put out, what was it, Ken? About 5 years ago, 6 years
Yeah.
ago? We put out a booklet and delivered it, personally delivered it to every citizen in the town. to include what the town was, the inception of the town, the history of the town, all the ordinances that were active in the town.
Right.
To include copies of any building permits for specific builds of, whether it be building, fence, whatever. And we gave that to all the citizens in the town. So every existing citizen right now has a copy of that book, and right now it doesn't need to be updated, but based on this coming out, we're probably going to put an addendum out once we get the information off of this program so that everybody can be informed of it. So we've never had anybody say, no, we didn't know that it required a permit. So, okay, thanks.
Just for fun too, while you're here, if this is the application for the current program. This is what it looked like, just name and address, kind of some basic questions, what'd you do as a new construction, as a remodel, so on and so forth, and they'll tell you up there what, you know, what you really need to do. Estimated completion date, estimated completion costs.
Yeah, it's kind of like the permit they come.
Yeah, and then you
get
just sign it
from
and
us
roll
for-
on, and
for a
then
bill.
there's that conditional approval or denial, and then so on. So,
Okay.
So when the new program, if it gets accepted, when the new program goes out, one of the ways that the county's gonna do something a little bit different is we're gonna send a letter to all the townships and all the small towns within our county, notifying them that the new program is in place. Please refer to the website if you have questions, or again, what you guys are doing is wonderful. You're coming in here and saying, hey, I want to know about this. Okay. And we're trying to identify problems and work on them and make a better solution. We're not gonna fix everything, but we're trying to make things a little better.
Appreciate it.
And I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you too. I'm sorry?
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you.
So a part of this process too is the county. You know, we can approve it as a county board, but every taxing entity that has to choose whether or not they will participate. So Hamlin collects township, city taxes. Your governing body has to decide whether or not you want, you know. So that's an important distinction too, because not everybody has to participate. So, and right now, the list of people that have is, there's only 5, I think 6, right? That we know of at this time. Is that correct?
Yeah, that will participate in the rebating process.
Yeah, so. Next.
Larry Weiss, Hiawatha Township.
Morning.
Hello, Mr. Weist.
How you doing, Rich?
I'm doing okay.
They say the minimum on this is $25,000. Okay, is that an arbitrary figure or is that fixed? It was 15 and now it's 25. And the reason I'm asking, I've got 4 buildings that I've built in the last, probably 20 years, 3 of which are less than 5 years old. None of them will reach the 25,000. So that should come way down. All, they're all on, well, 2 of them are on cement. One of them's a big pole shed that's about 30-some feet long, 40-some feet long, actually. But, like I said, I've got one that's, let's see, probably 24 by, close to 60, I suppose. And it won't come close to 25,000.
You're gonna answer?
Go ahead and answer first. And then-
So is it an arbitrary number? No. But where did it come from? It just, the old plan was at 15,000. There is an administrative burden to doing this plan. And to try and just keep up essentially with inflation, we raised the number.
Okay.
That's where it came.
And also, when the plan was being put together by, there's a consulting group that goes out and and looks at what they're
So
doing.
basically it's fixed.
It is a fixed number, but it's a recommendation that it be increased because of inflation and because of cost of construction and
Right,
labor
right.
and all that stuff. So it's been, the 15,000 was the last 10 years. And so now we're going another 10 years, so
Right.
we're talking
Right.
2035. And so the dollar amount was increased by $10,000. And that was, are we changing anything? Are we gonna go forward? Or are we gonna keep the same number for 20 years, basically? And so the commission voted to raise it by $10,000.
Well, which is understandable.
Yeah.
But like I say, a lot of buildings that are built, two of them are on cement. And they don't come close to 25.
Right.
So we're not really encouraging a lot of improvement. So,
Well, that's. We talked about this and if somebody's improving a house or doing any kind of a remodel, it doesn't take much anymore to reach $25,000.
I know.
So that's, and again, Mr. Weiss, we're looking at doing something in 2025 that's in effect for 10 years.
I know that.
And so we're trying to, if we would have said we're increasing it 5,000, somebody might have said, why is it 20,000?
Right.
But that's how we got here.
Okay.
But again, we appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the fact that you take time to come down and say, hey, what's going on with this? Because we're trying to make decisions that are reasonable.
So I'll interject my opinions now.
Sure.
Which is different than other commissioners, but one of my points was that, like you said, it helps people make a big improvement, but doesn't help small improvements as they go along. And to me, the law says that you could do this, which was enacted in 1996, I believe. It's a revitalization. That means a neighborhood revitalization area means an area where there is a predominance of buildings or improvements which by reason of dilapidation, deterioration, obsolescence, inadequate provision for ventilation, light, air, sanitation, or open spaces, high density of population, overcrowding, et cetera, is the places where it should be. And to me, our whole county isn't that way. So I don't believe that we should include the whole county. But there are areas that it should be included. I mean, there are areas that would apply, but so, and I don't believe the whole county is that way, so I don't believe we should make it for the whole county, and
Well,
that's what
like
I'm
I
saying.
say, if you want small projects, like we've had a major remodel in the house, put in a walk-in bathroom, et cetera, and all that. And it didn't 15,000 and less for the whole thing. And we had it hired down Edelman's and Smith did it. But like I say, 25 is pretty high.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Reese.
Yep, thank you. And can I add on what you said? You did say something. So it isn't the whole county. There are sections in the county. And we have a map here that are excluded from the neighborhood revitalization program because they don't meet the qualifications, mandated by, I guess, the law or the resolution from the state, however you say it. And there's certain areas in the city of Hiawatha, city of Horton, and up by,
I just did it yesterday, so I'm hoping.
so we know of sections in this that this program doesn't apply to, because it is intended to be a neighborhood revitalization. And legally, the county can't just do a blanket resolution for the entire county, because that would go against the spirit of the law. Bill?
Right. So I don't think the map we got back here is right, because when I talked to the appraiser, there was two areas in Hiawatha.
Yeah.
The two places outside, well, they were not in the city limit, not in the residential area of Horton,
Okay, yeah.
or maybe in an area in Sabetta, one small area in Sabetta.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So, will that next be on the website?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're pretty. Yeah, change anything.
Mhm.
There's small areas within the county that we can't say can be part of this, not because we want to or don't want to. In order to be in the spirit of this program. Those decisions are not made by the commissioners. So. But to answer your question, yes, when and if this program goes forward for another 10 years. That map will be in there.
Yeah, there are some exceptions and okay, who's next? All right. Morning.
More. Alfred Kimmy, Mayor, City of Everest. I think the discussion has been good and answered a lot of questions. So this is really simple. My only question is, who do I give this resolution to? Okay,
Do you know the county clerk, Nikki Lee?
well, kind of.
Okay.
You get email.
Good.
There we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
Do
thanks.
you have any opinion on this plan before you sit down?
Oh, I think pass it.
Okay, so your opinion is you agree with it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you for giving us your opinion.
All right, anybody else?
Mr. Middendorf, we value your opinion. Do you have anything you'd like to say about it?
Personally benefited from this in the past. All in favor of it.
Okay.
And I think our city commission's already passed our resolution, I thought that was
Okay,
clear primarily, that's in the, I support it.
well, we appreciate that. Whether you support or don't support it, we want to hear from you. So. And I can tell you that going forward, we will do a better job of disseminating the information.
Yeah, that's important, really.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, is there any more public comment or discussion on this NRP? If there's not, I would, I guess, make a motion to go ahead and close the public hearing. Or,
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing on the NRP.
okay, well then I'll second it then. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any more discussion? No. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, so the hearing's closed. Now, the next steps essentially is, can I go ahead and read this part? Would that be all right? This January 26th. Here's our next step. If we wish to proceed with the NRP. And at this time, the Board of Commissioners, we're going to proceed with the NRP. So I'm reading here, January 26th, basically Brown County will pass a resolution to adopt the plan. And then this gives the entities wishing to participate the time to meet and pass resolutions to adopt and complete the interlocal agreement and return it to Nikki prior to the 26th. So that's the next step. I mentioned the other taxing authorities or entities has to go ahead and approve it themselves and then get that information to the clerk. And then we take it and roll on. So. Understood? Any questions for us or really, I mean, the NRP discussion's closed, but you got anything else while you're here? I know. So it takes time and effort for people to come into these commission meetings, and we understand that. And we try to be very open and very fluid with our schedule to accommodate you. So if you've got something that you need us to know about, please tell us. And if you want to come in and talk to us, we're pretty easy to get along with, and we will make time for you. The only time we can't do anything, if there's a hard number or a hard time on that schedule, we can't bend from that. But otherwise, we're pretty flexible. So.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's important you guys know, and we will be broadcasting this through media, the radio, whatever, but the commissioners feel that this kind of dialogue is important for us to do our job. So going forward, we're going to be doing something that we kind of call coffee with the commissioners. And we're going to try to do it once a quarter. And we're going to basically get that information out that we will meet at a certain location. I believe it's not going to be, like a normal meeting that's televised, or I don't know if we've made that decision yet or not, or if we
Yeah.
have to. But
He's
it's,
talking about the conversations with the commissioner, meeting
we're
people.
trying to give you guys more of a forum that isn't so formal to come and say, hey, we have an idea, or we don't like your idea, we don't like the way you look, we don't like this, we don't like that. And if we do that once a quarter, 4 times a year, in addition to these meetings and the meetings that we're doing now, workshop meetings here once a week, that this kind of stuff may get better in the future, where you guys will understand what's going on a little bit more, or certainly have the opportunity to ask a question a little bit more. And that's just another one of the things we've identified as this commission that we think we need to do a better job on. The county needs to do a better job. So hopefully you'll participate in those meetings, and hopefully that will better. I see a question.
Yeah. That's what it is.
It's basically like that, but that we don't feel it was happening enough.
Our schedules got so discombobulated, we couldn't get a routine on that. So next year we want to have, and we're gonna have a hard one each quarter. And we're gonna try to, I mean, we didn't really pick a place,
Not yet.
but the sheriff's office, the basement may still work. I don't know, but we want to commit ourselves as a commission, and the clerk. She has to be there every time we're together. She has to chaperone us essentially. So
Because of coma.
because of coma, and that's just, I mean, that's just the way it works. So we want to make a firm commitment to the community, I guess, to Brown County, that we'll do it 4 times a year, once a quarter.
And there are a lot of people that don't like to come up here and talk in front of a camera. And we recognize that. So we're trying to have additional ways that you guys can communicate with
Right.
us, but still fall within the guidelines of coma.
Right.
I know Mr. Weist has a really nice building out there. That might be a good place for the county
Oh,
on one of these meetings.
okay. Does he know?
He doesn't know about it.
Okay. Okay.
You're welcome.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I put a plug in for Michaela Moore, he does expense and keeping track of grants. With the Department of Commerce and other state agencies have. So the gentleman here from these other surrounding towns. I would strongly suggest that we pay attention to the effort. Facebook page, if you can get on her email string or whatever, contact her. Very often she posts information about grants and programs like it's revitalization. I'm sure she's gonna post things on there again about this once it passes. There's been a number of grants to help improve storefronts and all kinds of things that come and go. And I would strongly suggest that you pay attention to those, because that might benefit your towns and it'll help you make improvements and get some money for it.
All right. Well, glad you said that.
But-
So this is the Hiawatha Foundation for Economic Development, and we did, and you're right to bring her up, and we'll do it again because we did work with Michaela quite a bit on this NRP. And the county is a line item in our budget for next year. We do work and we do fund HEFD, and we fund the Horton Industrial Development Commission, I believe, is the last letter, for economic development. So it's, some of those, like say, have a Horton Hiawatha focus, but it's not entirely laser focused on Hiawatha. It's a countywide, economic development group, and something that lifts up the town of Everest, lifts up the town of Hiawatha. So that rising tide raises all boats thing. So Mr. Mittendorf is absolutely right. Michaela Moore is the contact person for HEFD. They have a website. Check them out. They'd be glad to help you. Anything else? Okay, well, thanks everyone for coming in, and we're just going to continue on down our meeting, but you're welcome to stay if you'd like, or not.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much.
It's nice meeting you.
Okay, so we did everything we need to do there. Now we're just biding our time. Bill, did you? Feel pretty good about that? Okay,
I still don't agree with it, but that's fine.
okay, all right. Well, you're very friendly in your disagreement, so I appreciate that. I'm trying to get back to our meeting schedule here.
You gotta,
I'll get these, this stuff is, but as far as like, we don't know, if they're in there, that, I don't know that. Really can, sort of part of it, I don't know about. If there's something else that we need to add, because, it's gonna call for the money, because it's not. The one line between, saying it now.
Okay, so I understand the desire. I don't understand how we get there, because do we work in conjunction with Steve in the appraiser's office to come up with this? I know at one time he gave us a bunch of data.
And then.
Okay, okay, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
You saw all that. Okay.
yeah, and again, I think it's in the spirit of, the program is basically for blighted areas, and I know that Bill has a problem with that wording, and I understand why you have a problem with that wording. So really, if we were adding to the map, we would be saying, do we have an area within the city that's all new? Obviously, that's not a blighted area, right? And so I'm trying to think, or within the county, I'm sorry. Correct. Yes. And it's funny you should say that, because that's what was going through my mind was, if you go to an area where is new development and it's new homes, then that's not considered really a blighted area that we are trying to improve.
so that if somebody building another new home there, it would qualify.
If it was, right now it would, I believe. I don't believe that's part of
Oh, well,
the current map.
so, but if it was in that area that we don't consider blighted,
Right.
so those people wouldn't get a.
Again, the spirit is to improve areas that need improvement, right?
Another problem I have kind of is that how much money we spent fighting the wind turbine because the state abated the taxes on that as a part of their, I mean, it's messing with the tax code, so. And property tax code been messed with so much, a little bit more is probably not gonna hurt it.
Mhm.
Well, so how do we go about, other than like a field trip, how do we go about, and are those areas, is that subjective? Do we base that on data? How do we?
It's fine. See the data
Yeah,
where. Without.
Well, then the other issue came up, there is one house in that area that's not fixed up. Is that house? Wow.
how specific do you want to be? Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. The program's been in place for quite a few years, and there have been areas that previous commissioners or HEFID or through whoever they were talking to have said, we deem these areas. So really, it's if we take a look at that map, get back to you quickly and say, the current map I'm okay with, that's what you need to hear. Okay.
All right. Okay, so when though? As soon as possible.
That's what I'm getting.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go through this meeting, we're gonna get done, could it be at the end of this meeting that we take a look at the map together?
And that map. She's got
Yeah.
scheduled, yeah. Yeah.
Like a 15-minute work session?
Would it be beneficial to have it today versus Monday? Okay,
Okay.
so after this meeting, we'll take a look at the map and we'll make some decisions.
I'll try to keep it to 15 minutes.
Vote on the plan and on Monday,
No, the 26th.
Yeah.
so we don't have to vote.
No.
before then?
No, we're just,
Please. So.
all right, excellent. So after this meeting, we'll take 15 minutes to go over the map to come up with the areas. Or you either approve the map the way it was or add or subtract, whatever we decide. Okay.
Correct.
Now, we're moving on to the K-Work premium notice, which the estimated premium for 2026 is $49,864. And this is, next page gives you a listing of each, like different departments and what its costs or what it costs. And we look here at previous information. You can see in orange ink here on page 46 what it has been in the past. So I don't know, it's significantly higher this year than it was last year. And this same story for 24, but it looks like 49,000 is cheaper than it was in 2020. So what a random number. Does anyone have any idea other than, like compensation? I know that affects it. Salaries, but what? Oh, would you say that again?
So you're saying that the wages overall throughout the county went up $250,000 in the previous year? And that $250,000 resulted in the premium going the majority.
$1,000.
So was a $10,000 increase on the premium because of a $250,000 increase in wages.
So that number doesn't make sense in my head. I mean, we did the budget. You weren't really involved at that time. Okay. So is that?
So.
Okay.
And I don't know how that's more. That that includes. Community correction homes as well. Or it's just.
So does K-Work, are they a year behind then? Because
They do that, maybe they didn't have to do it over them. The audit, so they pull, have a whole bunch of reports. See where back about.
well, I'm stuck on the wage increase at that number. But if I understand the mechanics, does that mean, was that the difference between 2025 and 2024? That's why I asked, are they a year behind? Because they're not looking at our budgeted numbers for next year.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, now it makes more sense.
Can you explain who is the company that's doing the audit? Because yeah, I look at this and say, in 2026, we're looking $49,000, basically $50,000. But the county basically paid more than that back in 2020.
Mhm.
So on a trend, you would say, hey, we're on a good trend right now. But I'm trying to figure out how did it get so expensive, 5 years ago? So, and I know you won't have that information right now, but this is another one of those things that you look at and you go.
Would that have been a bad loss year ratio or loss?
It definitely could have been, yes,
Yeah.
but
Maybe, yeah, okay, well,
so who's our contact at this? In other words, if we were to ask that question, can we say, why did we pay X amount of dollars 5 years ago and we're, what caused that? Okay, but the increased wages wouldn't have went up that much in 2020. And in other words, did the premium go down now? Are we working on lower premiums, or is that?
I would say that. It's Colin. Colin Holdhouse, is that right? Is it Holt? Okay, so there's a gentleman, and I'll get you his card. I got
Okay.
it somewhere where you can talk to him. They're very good about getting you that sort of
Sure,
information.
we need to know, right?
Because we learned this last year when we went through and we looked and we saw it go from 33,000 to the 40,000.
Mhm.
That was a big amount.
Sure. Well, I guess increase in wages, I'm not satisfied with that yet until I talk to them, so.
So is this is an invoice? I mean, it actually has to be, when's it's due?
Well, there's an estimate though, right?
They have paid estimate and then they do an audit after it's over.
Okay. All right, well, is this a budget buster? Let me go back through here.
We won't come out of it.
Right,
It's coming out of next year's.
right, but I just wondered what
And
the
be
allocated
concerned that it
for it. I was having trouble finding it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, did we have a number? Don't see. Don't see it. But I may not be looking in the right spot. Is that under employee? Mileage for the commissioners?
So I guess the question is, can we have an answer by the next meeting? I mean. It's not like we're not gonna pay this in. So can we pay the invoice, but also the invoice generates some questions and we'll have the answers to those questions. Because the invoice isn't negotiable. So what I'm getting at is I don't want to hold it up and have you guys hold their payment up.
Right.
But I'd also like to drill down and find out exactly what this trend is. Because if you look at this, there is no trend. It's up, down, up, down. And obviously we. Okay,
Okay, well then,
but we'll approve the invoice.
is there a motion then to approve the K-Work invoice as presented?
I make a motion to approve the K-Work invoice as presented.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any more discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, do I need to sign that at all or just?
No.
Okay. No. Put it in my pile. Okay, that's done. Now we've got this permit 25-6, which is the 3-mile utility. If his memory serves, we talked about what's the term, the county's like permit guidelines, something like, placement guidelines.
Easement?
Yeah, I mean, we were just, last conversation was about pole placement, maybe too close to the road, and we talked about doing certain things.
Yeah, and so I am meeting with a planner. Now, the only thing I need to know is there was a location that you had a question about. I want to make sure we talk about that one too. I know where I'm gonna go with the planner, but there was another location that, Bill, that you had concern about where they're realigning some poles, like, I believe.
Well, on 270s, I thought all certain areas along there, the poles were really close, but maybe that's because the right of way is too narrow.
Right, and you feel that your concern was there, when you say too close to the traveled roadway.
Right.
Correct.
I mean, went off the road and you'd hit,
Right.
likely hit a pole.
Right, and that's on 270th. Okay, could you,
Michigan.
Antelope and coyote, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. Basically that.
the two or antelope through coyote?
Two coyote, because No. Well, no, actually, it was all along there, clear to Goldfinch,
To the
and
Goldfinch,
then it
you're
went
right.
north.
You're
It went
right.
Clear.
You're right. Those poles are right on the red.
Right.
Okay. And so what we're basically doing is we're meeting with a planner and saying, hey, we've noticed that these things are closer than in other areas, and we have a concern about it. And then they're gonna come back and they're gonna say that they have an easement that they can work within. And what we're trying to do is we're basically saying, we understand that you have the right to do this, but as county commissioners, we're trying to say, if you can make sure that only happens, you know, for some reason, in other words, there could be in that location, there could be underground utilities that prevents them from drilling those poles farther back.
So on Goldfinch, at least a part of that, they did have an easement on the private land that they could have put it on,
Mhm.
but they put it, to me, right,
Which I'm sure made the landowner happy that they didn't put it on there.
right,
Yeah.
but, and then. Do they have, I mean, we have these permits, do we not have the right to say what's in our right of way? Or is that, or the state say they can?
So there are certain utilities, for instance, railroads and power companies, those kind of things that actually have more right than others. And so to answer that question that's why we're setting up a meeting and saying,
Right.
you know, a friendly meeting. We're not going in there and saying, you can't do this. We're going in there and saying, this could cause a potential problem to us, and we'd like to talk about why you're doing it and develop the relationship that they know, hey, the commissioners don't want it out there. And if there is an option to move it farther back, the commissioners want that to happen. I don't know in this particular case if they could say, well, that's fine, but we have the right to do whatever we want. And that's what the meeting is about.
So then does this lead into the conversation of the commission needs to enforce its right of ways, you know, from the center of the road to the center of the field or the end of the field? You know, sometimes, you know, I'm farming, we hug the borders a little bit tighter than we should. And every now and then that runs into problems. So you mentioned maybe whoever put the power line in, they decided to err on the county side
Yeah.
because the field was pushed up, maybe even on
Could be.
county. You're right.
It's speculation. I don't
Yeah,
know.
right.
Yeah. But I will tell you, a lot of times underground utilities has a lot to do with placement of poles, unfortunately. And so things that you don't see sometimes.
It's true.
And then,
And this line in question is there's a big substation, for lack of a better term, for transformers.
I think it was transport, yeah.
but also, this is a question for Austin to tell us what our rights are as a county. And speaking of that,
So that's on the list then. Okay.
yeah, it was brought to my attention by a person within the county that does conservation work, and he said, hey, we're seeing some corners out there where it's a little harder, and okay, let's go take a look at them and find out why.
So we're also seeing, and one thing leads to another, but the reason I brought up this county right away and roads is not to be a stickler, but we're also getting some terraces draining into county road ditches now, which sounds
Correct.
fun until, you know, we got to clean the ditches out. And
Correct.
there has to be, and if there's not, there should be some sort of resolution, or I guess basically to protect the county's road, their ditches and drainage and all that stuff.
Right.
Which would lead into this permit, like, again, it all sort of intermingles.
So. Yeah, so there's sometimes like. I like fences. You don't want a fence clear out the road, but. Okay, so we have a property. The county was gonna widen this road, so they bought up a lot of property, so that our fence line is way back from the road. And if the county don't move that, I've been having, well, I graze it sometimes, so I put my fence along the road. So that, to me, I like a fence, a temporary electric fence. And if that's not, I was criticized once, if you put steel poles out there and somebody runs into, that's not good. But if you have plastic poles out there, bring it to those, that's not going to cause much damage.
Uh-huh.
And to me, we don't want to get so critical, we don't allow that. And to me, I think some of the right of ways need to be wider. Just for this reason that they're putting the poles too close. But if there's not any poles there and the road's wider and it's not hurting the road, I don't have any problem with people still using the ground.
Sure.
So how, I mean,
Well, it's a
How do
topic
you-
for discussion.
how do you do part of it, not all of it?
Well, the state puts little orange, old grader blades or concrete, markers in. I don't want to do that.
No.
But there does need to be some accommodation for the integrity of our roads and our ditches, which, up on that part of the reason that road failed is because we didn't have clear ditches
Right.
and because they didn't have much room to get rid of it. So, okay, so as far as 25-6, though, that's informational. We're still, are we signing that and moving on? Or are we still just in discussion because you're gonna meet with some planners?
Yeah, I think what we're doing is we're still gonna sign this, but we're gathering information because questions come up and it's like,
Okay,
does the county have something in place that prevents this from happening?
well then
I don't
there
know
we
until
go.
we start asking the questions. If you read through here, there are several areas that says at the approval of the county. That's very subjective, right? We're the county, so are we approving this or not approving this? One of the things, if you'll look in here, that they're saying that the utility shall be placed at a depth of 5 feet minimum. And so there'll be times when, if somebody came to us, that we're gonna have to adjust that because you can't always be below 5 feet. So
All
I
right,
think it's a generic permit and in its current state, I would have no problem passing.
so then we're at a time where we can go ahead and make a motion on permit 25-6 with Evergy with the 3-mile pole, remove and replace. Is that correct?
Just one more, yeah, well, one more comment.
Okay.
So I have more trouble putting the poles close to a high-speed road than a gravel road.
Mhm.
So. Yeah, that's
Okay.
Just an extra comment.
All right. Would someone,
And this is all on gravel roads or
Right.
or
nowhere.
no road at all, would someone like to make a motion and to approve this permit number 25-6?
I'll make a motion to approve 25-6.
Okay, is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Is there any more discussion?
I'll just say one more thing. A lot of times, within states, they kind of dictate what happens and other people cut and paste and follow their permits. And one thing I will note is if you drive highways, okay, with 65 or 70 mile an hour speed limits, you'll notice that their lighting poles with luminaires on them to light the highway are often placed within like 36 inches of the travel roadway.
Right.
So it's not uncommon when you
Okay.
drive around to see poles or objects that are within 36 inches
That's true.
of the traveled roadway. So, in Brown County, we can't say, well, you're right to look at it and go, that could be a problem, but that's a norm. And so it's usually that 36 inches or closer is where they start having discussion.
But there should be some flexibility.
Sure.
And we still have something on the table there. There should be some flexibility for, if I can set a pole here.
Yeah.
As a utility company, but I know across here, maybe there's a big corner post or something for a fence and I'm on a 25-foot roadway. A lot of guys try to get through there with a 30-foot beam head.
Mhm.
And so we need to make some accommodation for things like that if possible. So it's been moved and seconded to approve permit -25-6. We've had more discussion. Is there any more? If not, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. Going on down the list. Number 6, the tax change orders. So it looks like we got rid of a UTV, sold the trailer, some similar stuff. Now, I wanted to ask, and when we got to the ready mix component of it, for a little clarification.
So if you remember, he was basically saying, would we vote to move forward and allow him to do this? And we did, basically. In that meeting, we were talking about what caused it. We basically looked and said, what was the cause and effect? And then give us a certain dollar amount or approximate, which he did. And we approved him and now we're seeing it. So it's basically, this
Sure.
is the end product of what we've
So
discussed.
my question is the net. I I see some numbers that look, now I see this net.
65, 30, 36.
So, but explain that to me. Is that additional tax or is that a credit?
Well, it's additional tax.
Okay. Okay. So then walk me through that process again, because I
So
thought when we
The
did-
way I understood it is he was saying it will result in them paying the county, but they're gonna be getting money back from Sabetha. Am I correct in saying that? Right.
So that was my concern, because I thought at the end of the day, when all,
Yeah, the only question I'd have is we directed him to make a call over there and talk to somebody and make sure that. Oh, you did, okay. So it fell on the clerk's office again, huh?
Was about 50. right?
Okay.
They called Midwest.
Okay, so he called Midwest, you called Sabetha. How did that go?
Yeah, but just.
Okay, so we did the professional thing and reached out to him and said, hey, so.
It's not really much of that. So.
Yep.
Right.
So the follow-up question would be. To the appraisers, did he make that call to Midwest? But this is what we were talking about and it's,
So my question is, there are three separate plots there that are taxed, no, three different plots. Or is this for 3 different years? Is that what this is? Okay, so it's,
yeah, because
okay,
he,
years, okay,
they,
okay,
technically, we could do 3 years from.
all right. Yeah, so that's
23, 24, 25.
so as far as the process goes, we're right where we need to be.
Exactly.
Okay, all
Right.
right. All right. Thank
So
you.
Then my only question is, just like whenever we get these, is it something that a taxpayer is generating? And if you look at the description of these, it looks like we're being notified that there was a change and we're doing the change order, which is fine. What I'm trying to do is keep the number of where we're making a mistake and having to go back and correct it. And all of these look like the changes are initiated by somebody selling something or a piece of equipment getting damaged.
Yep.
So.
Okay, so any more comments on those? If not, we'll just roll on. All right, nice job. Now, number 8 is OS2 bridge discussion.
Okay, I kind of brought that up, but we kind of decided just kind of let it sit for a while, I guess is what we. But one of the issues was, well, they give you that. How much money is spent on already, it is outrageous. But. When,
Yeah.
I mean. When we applied for when they made the grant for the 51 bridge. Let's say 51. The state pays you for. If you are going to close a bridge, but the engineer knew that. We were planning on replacing it, not just closing it, so. If we just go on and leave it like it is. Well, is that a problem? I don't know, that was just, so, I don't think we need, something we need to do right today, but it's just something to be aware of.
So when did this project start?
A long time ago. So that,
5 years ago,
No.
3 years ago?
well, it was at least 2 years ago,
Okay, 2 years ago.
probably 3 years ago.
Mhm.
Okay, so the wing wall fell off and we looked at it and we were paying over $100,000 to get wing walls fixed and stuff like that. And the guy, Midwest or Husker Steel or whoever, Norfolk gave us a estimate. It costs $235,000 to build the bridge.
Mhm.
So
Was it an estimate not to exceed or was it an estimate?
just an estimate.
Okay.
It wasn't a real bid, but that was an estimate. So
Okay.
taking that estimate, considering what it cost to fix it, since this has high walls and it's only 15, 16 feet wide, we thought it'd be a good time to replace it, make a wider bridge that was more useful. And then from there it went, so they even had an engineer that worked with them that, well, we put engineering bids out, and there was one company that bid 15,000 and one company that bid 30,000. Of course, we took the 30,000 one. Here we are.
When you say we, you don't mean.
No, not you.
Thank you.
The
Right,
commissioners at that time.
yeah. So that's a great example of you guys did something in good faith and it turned around where it's costing more money than you anticipated. So that's why I asked, was it an estimate not to exceed? And those are the kind of things going forward that we can look at. When we get these estimates, you get those people in and you drill down and say, okay, this is an estimate.
And then so the engineer we hired, they come up with a different plan that, and his estimate was $360,000. And plus, in there, the historical society got involved and said we couldn't tear out the old bridge. So we're gonna have to reroute the road and all that stuff, and it just
Right.
snowballed and
It
it's.
sounds like a public works project.
Right.
So, but you're learning from it, right? So next time, if this exact scenario came in, you'd go, wait a minute, the last time this happened, this is what happened, this is what happened. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to almost get stung before you realize.
So,
But
I don't know. It's just really frustrating.
it is frustrating, you're right. And that's why we have to be diligent when these things come up next time and ask the questions, you know, I say all the time, low bid is not always good bid, right? And so the next time we accept a bid on any project, we need to go through the process of saying, why is this bid so much lower? And what are they not?
Right.
What are they not?
And even with that hybrid, the permits on the permits came out and the right answers were on their permit, but the answers weren't in the right blanks. And that was kind of, when you pay a high cost for it,
Sure.
I expect it to be right. But they fixed it, so. Anyway.
Okay, good.
Comments, Danny?
What would you do different next time, Tammy?
I don't know.
Okay, and that's fair enough.
I mean,
I used to be on the other side of the table. I was the one that they were saying, why is this costing so much more than what you originally quoted? And I'd have to go in and say, well, we did this and you guys gave us information that said this, we based it off of that. But I'm on this side of the table now, so I get to ask those kind of questions. And I think what Bill, it says discussion. We're discussing something that the county has gone through, and hopefully we are learning that when this happens the next time, because it will happen the next time, these are the kind of things that we need to protect ourselves.
Right.
By talking about, maybe looking at a estimate and say, we're gonna go with your company, but are you willing to say an estimate not to exceed a certain amount? Right? Before we contractually go with you.
right,
And quite often they'll come back and say, well, it will not exceed this amount as long as it pertains to the information we were given, and got to make sure that that happens. So.
We'll also have some more, I guess, arrows in our quiver, I would say, because we're seeking out alternative designs.
Yes.
Designs. We're not disloyal to any company.
Right.
We're also, we need to question some of our loyalties to certain people that we've always just done it that way. We've always just went their direction.
Correct.
There's other people out there willing to do quality work, sometimes at a much lower price. We just need to be willing to open some doors to different people. Now, you mentioned an engineering thing. I don't remember what that, I don't know what you're talking about there, but you must have went with somebody for a reason if it was more money. Maybe it's a better engineering firm who's totally fine, but maybe you feel a sense of loyalty to someone you've always done business with.
Well, it wasn't me.
I didn't mean you, I'm sorry.
They wrote up a better plan or something.
And there was probably a good reason.
Put more stuff in what they were gonna do or something.
Our meetings go longer because we're asking a lot of questions.
Which is our job.
Okay, so this was a discussion. Did we discuss it? Feel good? Okay. I'm gonna check mark that, and number 9, it's 2025 year end.
Journal entry.
Entries, you can finish the sentence, all right. Thank you.
Thanks, Tammy.
Who's the young lady too?
So, so before you leave, is journal entries, Big River Bridge, that,
If you want to move from, we didn't have time to talk about it. We always move it and then we have to move it back. So why didn't you put it on one of those?
I don't know. So this is taking money from left in this year's budget and moving to next year's.
Something.
Okay, so I had actually on the table here, I was gonna get this young lady introduced to me, and I just didn't quite catch her name.
This is my granddaughter, Kendra.
All right, hi, Kim. We're glad you're here. You might be, I don't think you're the youngest, but you're close to the youngest person I've ever had in a commission meeting. So thanks for coming. All right, you enjoying your Christmas break? Good, good. We're glad to see you.
They've got to come spend the night at maybe 2 weeks tomorrow.
All right, all right. Well, she's a pretty good cook. Have her bake you some cookies. All right.
We do that.
Right on.
Don't we?
Good, good. Thanks for coming. Okay, sorry. Bill, journal entries. And this is an accounting. Go ahead.
So,
Okay, so, go ahead.
no,
Bill.
go ahead. I don't understand it. No, not necessarily. So if we have money left in the budget. And
Contact with the
we don't do this, what's it?
department heads to see if they want to. The capital.
Okay.
Okay,
And then some of them that were over budget. I think that one's looking at. Budget.
okay, so the two people that I've talked to about this, obviously, the Sheriff Merchant. And he was concerned because he doesn't want, he's got some costs coming up that are gonna happen because of the state funded mandates. And he was worried, so I just wanna make sure that with Sheriff Merchant and also with Ryan Shockley, with the rescue squad. He also talked about, he's got some money that he wants to spend and he didn't spend based off of some uniforms and stuff that they have to buy that he didn't feel comfortable doing it until they get the new people in or replacements. And so he's making sure that money will be rolled over and available next year.
If you have them improvement, but they want to do the thing.
Okay.
It's a separate fund, if it's forward.
Okay, so in other words, when it's in the rescue squad, for instance, and it's money that he intended on spending, he hasn't spent yet, but he is spending. When it goes into capital improvements, does it become really hard for you to go in and get that money back next year? Okay, and when he does that, that's next year when he's spending it? Okay, and that's all he has to do? Okay. And Merchant's concern is this big chunk of money that we're doing an MOU right now on with the Kickapoo tribe.
Okay, but not do that.
No, it was
Okay.
just money that he had in his budget that it makes it look like he's got this excess, but it's not an excess. So he was just notifying, saying, what do I have to do? And I said, well, we'll bring it up in a meeting and make sure. Some of these people are kind of the opinion, and I don't know why, but their opinion, if it doesn't get spent, then they lose it.
Well,
And
if you don't move it.
If you don't move it, that's correct. So all I'm doing is making sure that they're following the right procedure and that we are notified.
So can we put yours is, the election budget is the biggest number. Can you just walk us through that because you know exactly what you're.
Okay. Unlimited anything, and then that's part, and with next year we'll vote in a new Secretary of State, and I have no idea what that looks like for what kind of changes they could make, and I would rather have enough money to cover any kind of change either way. And if I don't need it, I can move it, use it for payroll or something. But
Okay.
if the state can have this one, but I don't know.
But you are anticipating that there could be additional cost.
Yeah, if they decide they want to run something different.
Sure.
And they have to do something.
So is there ever a time in a situation like this where an office didn't have to spend the money and they actually did return it to the the county, for lack of a better term, instead of going to capital improvement?
The books, but they don't, we did. We're just leaving it there to get like hundred things.
Okay, so that it's happening now.
Well, like the treasurer's last year, we had her take some money out of her capital.
She
improvement,
has to use some this year for her.
Her budget,
Okay, so it does happen.
so it can be used.
Yeah, on the top three are capital improvement going to.
They're going in the reverse direction. All right.
Okay.
All right, wonderful.
So, going back, when we were talking to Scott Lloyd about having a reserve. This is kind of a reserve, isn't
In her case, because she's, as a manager, she's saying, hey, I know what could happen and I don't want. I want you guys to understand that I'm afraid that if that money's there, it's gonna cause you a problem. She's doing. Just like when I was talking to John or when I was talking to Ryan, it's like, this is what we want you to do as managers. We want you to look forward and say, you know, this is coming. It didn't come yet. Because otherwise, if it just gets returned and the next year they go, hey, I need to spend this, those are the problems that we don't want. We want managers looking, forecasting, right?
Right. In
So-
both directions.
In
too.
both directions.
Yeah.
And if it can come back, we want it back. But what I'm telling these guys is do not be afraid of saying, my budget's had this money in it and I did not spend it because it wasn't prudent right now. That's great.
Right.
You know, there is, you know, there are agencies like, well, if we don't spend it, we lose it. And that's a
Baseline,
stupid
but-
way to run a budget.
Yeah.
So,
My concern was in the road and bridge department, but we have money left over,
But the state,
and you just keep it in cash and.
general fund, everything is all.
Oh, okay, so. Okay,
Okay, so is this something we approve or is this just information? Okay, is there a motion to improve the 2025 year-end journal entries as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the 2025 journal entry.
Is there a second?
second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any more discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carried.
Full math flowing on.
Uh-huh.
Barclays, you know, dates, technologies, and it's bigger than fund.
Oh.
For 9,000, but you're able to get so.
Excellent. Yeah.
Okay.
So one more thing before we close it out. What we want is, as an organization, we want the divisions within that organization to feel comfortable to give us realistic budgets. And if they feel like they can't, then they start asking for more because they're, you know, let's not run the business because we're worried about something. Let's run the business because we feel we need to spend the money, whether it's this year or next year. And so when somebody comes and asks me these questions, that's what I'm telling them is, let's get back to where you're not throwing everything at the wall and hoping we give you that amount of money. It's realistically, this is what it should be.
All right.
Okay. That's my soapbox.
It's fine. I enjoy listening to you speak.
I don't.
So
I don't
it's
enjoy
fine. The last thing is not, I guess, county councilor updates, but we didn't get.
So he said he was trying to get on, but it wasn't
It wasn't
available.
clicking.
Can
We
you
did
send
have,
him another request?
we
or-
did have two people come in. Did you want to, you just? Oh,
Oh,
that's Ben from John Deere.
yes, I know that.
Okay. All right. I always introduce people and he always knows them. I figured the guy, anyway. Okay. Okay. All right, good. Well, then, is there any more business to come before the Board of County Commissioners here before we close it out and go into a short little work session?
I do not have any. You're supposed to have that and also the MOU done by the end of the day.
Well, then do we want to not close out and just spend a little time and go over the map? So if Austin calls in, we can still do something?
Yes, and I'm sending him another text saying, try again to get on.
Right, right. Well, I don't want to close out and then wish we wouldn't have.
Well, the two things that we have are this resolution and the MOU. He committed to the MOU by the end of the day for Sheriff Merchant. So Sheriff Merchant's request to me yesterday was he just wants to make sure that it's still happening fairly quickly. Because the Kickapoo tribe needs it as quick as possible. It's not like if they didn't get it today, it messes them up. It's just, we got to make sure that it's done in a quick manner, and that's what he said he would do.
All right, so I'm a little out of the loop on that, but do we need to keep the meeting open? Just go into start looking at the map, or are we able to close out?
Why don't we start looking at the map, because we anticipated about 15 minutes for that.
Okay, okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Is that the best place to look at it back there, or do we bring it up here? Check it out.
Is that the same map you sent us? Or
No,
This over here. Stephens.
this is the only now in the basement. Right, demo testing.
So the areas in pink are the only areas?
That's the understanding. And then if you want to look at it, and bigger. And then after. So Horton City already can one of the lines there.
what is that? Is that Hammersmith down there, or what is that something else?
Okay, so this is not, because it's not pink.
I think they're just highlighting this and loving it.
Okay. I was just gonna say, because it's interesting that Hamlin and Everest, two people that came in here, but it doesn't look like there is anything.
No, and if you go even further than detail, but that,
This is the curve you want.
And we're not excited on putting set up as being this time, so the commercial situation. Just finish out once we. There's not.
Okay.
One of them.
Okay, so that makes sense up in the newer
Right.
neighborhood
This,
area.
but this is the other side of the street that.
What streets are these?
This is Fourth, North
This is-
Fourth and Hatfield. 73.
Yeah, so there's a newer home placed here.
There's
and
like
an existing
here.
home out there, and there's newer homes here.
The 6, 7 speed or 6 speed?
That would be six.
Or this would be 5th then, huh?
But it doesn't go all the way.
It doesn't go through, yes.
Oh,
This. What I have is budget. When we.
That's just the bottom of what we saw.
Yeah.
don't come up and look at it.
Just want to see it right along with the areas. The other ones, by around Whitley, and this is Indian Hills.
So
There
really.
you go. Ken?
Yeah, this is what. Okay, so. Where does that say today? Okay, there's no hall. No.
So your
This area-
current project that you were discussing, does it fall within here?
Yes,
Okay, that's the reason it wasn't accepted.
really?
Yes, because again, Cindy, what the plan says is you can't say your whole county is applied,
Yeah,
right? So the powers that be before us,
this makes me happy to see this.
Okay.
Okay,
but the powers that be before us said there are some areas that we think are not a blighted area. And obviously
Well,
Indian Hill, when we were growing up, Indian Hill was, right.
this is a beautiful area.
Yeah. So that's, but to get back, we are going forward, there will be an acceptance or a rejection letter going out. Okay,
Okay,
so from this information, it's not the time frame. It's more that this doesn't fall within that area, which that information should be told to
why
people
did
when
they
they,
even have told us that?
I don't know. But all I can say is
I mean, I know,
we're addressing
but I know you guys, this is something that I wouldn't have wasted my time
I-
and my $35 on,
Um,
if I knew that, because I had to pay, I think I paid it twice, in fact.
but we'll bring that up.
Because if you're gonna, if you're not eligible, if it's an area that's not eligible,
They shouldn't take your
they
money.
shouldn't be taking my money.
That's correct.
That makes more sense. Okay, so the next project, I gotta look at, where's Third Street?
The next project is more than likely, there's two areas within the city. One is up.
I know, but the other one is over this area. It's like, look at that. It is something, what is this, first stage?
Christmas for all.
Okay. I didn't realize that lot was that big. Can
So-
I take a picture of this right here?
You can take a picture. We have 15 minutes
Do you wanna
that we've
take it?
allotted, so
I just want a picture of this so I know the size of that lot.
can we be in it? Yeah.
Do you want to be in
No.
it? I just want a picture, because I need to know the size of that lot, so.
We now have 10 minutes.
Okay, now where's the other area where?
You know, you could do it, in all honesty, is you could go up to the appraiser's office and say, can you give me the areas within Hiawatha that are not eligible?
He'll give you a legal description, but the map.
Map is better looking.
Okay, there's the other area.
Oh, so this is gonna be up there, what I call, what do we call it? Is rescue area, or what do they call that area? All right, perfect. Well, and this makes sense too. Where's my other house at? My other house is. Okay, never mind.
Okay,
Not there.
you want a picture of that before we close it up?
Nope, I know where that is.
Okay.
I just did not know.
Yeah, right there. That's just the southern.
Oh.
The same, of the same.
Okay,
area.
so where's Connie? All right, that's perfect. Wait, so you would see that lot with me. Oh,
We now have 6 minutes.
I'll be quiet.
Time is really moving.
Thank you. Are you serious?
You bet.
We allotted a certain amount of time because she has to.
I really got like a 6 minute. I'll be quiet.
No,
Okay,
we
we're early.
had 15 minutes to discuss this, is what we
Thank
said.
you, thank you.
You saw this one. So were we moving on?
That's all I needed.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, Richard.
Okay, you good? Do we need to make, I mean, today, though, if we looked on that first map on Hiawatha, that one section, do we need to?
Increase it because of the new homes up there, that's not a blighted community.
That's the one. Can you look at that map and tell me what we're doing?
All I can tell you is if we go back to,
Would it be? I know we're in the interest of time here, but should we have Mr. Markham come down here and help us? You have to be about. We got 20 minutes.
It goes back on the agenda Monday.
and then have Steve attend, I think that'd be the prudent. I don't want to just make a rash decision because
But I want everybody to have
I, yeah, I'm gonna go, I'll drive the area, but I know.
Are they on 19? That's them or? Could someone build a house on in that area and do the plan?
That's a question that Steve needs to answer, because I was asked that question and I don't know.
There are answers to that. And
Yeah.
It has to do with in trust, but there's, I think 3 different ways you can. I'm not qualified to answer it, but I did.
So
I
at
did.
next Monday's meeting, if he came in, we could ask those questions.
Am I doing the ad for District 1 and 3 or just?
Brown County.
one? Oh, that's
Brown County.
right.
This is Willis, by the way.
Okay. So what's not,
That ain't part of it.
Full-time position with the Road and Bridge Department and just take off the in districts.
Correct.
Still,
yeah, so that ag partners and Willis, it's not,
Just to clarify next year. The budget is all together.
Mhm.
Correct?
That's the intention.
So,
You're talking about the budgets for 1, 2, and 3
right,
will now be all together, correct?
Right.
Correct.
Is that a problem?
so, not for me.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, Kansas Association of Counties, we've got. We normally pay that every year. It's $460. It's for the local road engineer, is that what it? Program, and. I just wanted to make sure that you wanted to pay it.
I did call him one time during the last year. We asked him some questions when we board under a wing.
Okay.
So what does
he
it cost,
was
what does it cost a year?
$460,
$460?
yeah,
Okay.
so I just want
Not
to
a
make
whole lot of
sure,
money per month. I mean,
no,
$35 a month.
Right. have
Sure,
access to
absolutely.
that,
So you want our blessing?
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it. You need him to,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, I didn't want to just go, I tried to check with you before
You should, I think it's fine.
Okay, so we're going to put this on next Monday's meeting. We're gonna ask Steve Markey to be present. We'll have some questions. And you want us to be thinking about this before the meeting, so it
We're
doesn't.
still gonna have
turn into
district
an hour
foreman as a
discussion.
question.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay. And then
Still gonna have district foremen.
are we still gonna talk about the invoice for the dump site? Okay. Let me just tell them, so. The project, the dump site is coming to a close. Right. And the contractor that's doing it wanted to bill out the remaining. And all I asked, I talked to her yesterday and said, in a normal fashion, you'd bill out everything and be paid everything but 10%. Because there are still punch list items that have not been.
Well, I was wondering if you'd done that yet.
Yeah, so she did email and that's where we're at right now. And then I'm gonna go talk to the owner and also explain, hey. We've got some items and the 10% is more than fair, that's a normal project. So that would take them down to about $19,000 out of.
And that's why we got this email with the list of things that are important.
Yeah, exactly. And so I feel that just talking to the owner, get these things done and we'll get you paid. But you did what we talked about already, so perfect, thank you. That's fine, because you did.
It's the end of the year, maybe.
The end of the year.
Okay, so as far as this map, do we need to spend more time on it?
No, I think that if you have some ideas in mind, if you could drive before next Monday's meeting and just be thinking about it. We're talking about, we're obviously looking at your newer areas. If we were gonna say, hey, we're not considering this a blighted area, so if you build brand new here. And I think that as newer homes go forward. That we need to maybe enlarge that map a little bit.
County highway. This is.
Is this where the gun range is?
That is the gun range.
What used to be the dump?
That is the gun range. Yep, you're absolutely right. Like I'm trying to get my bearings. So then this is the airport. Right?
So the airport's not in it. So it looks to me like what they did, they took out areas that nobody's gonna build with anyway.
Government.
And that's probably, they probably are doing this obviously because pursuant to the guidelines, you can't have 100% of the county is the way it was explained to me.
All right,
So they're going up the low hanging fruit here and saying,
Well, they did do a revolution like, you know, which would be the newer night.
sure, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
So Bill, the whole county is not blighted. And
so my thing is, why would I come to a county that is all blighted?
well, because they're going places.
You're
trying
already
to get
here.
the-
You're already here. So,
Yeah.
all right, so looking at the. If there's nothing, did we have?
I got a question, Terrence, but on that thing, it says, person needs to work with the district foreman. Are we still gonna have district foreman?
Yes, but we're gonna have a superintendent over the one,
Okay,
but they still need to work with the district one.
okay,
Mhm.
all right.
Oh, okay.
Good call. Austin just said he will call in a minute.
Yeah, and speaking of,
Okay. That's,
I still haven't got any, we know, okay, sorry, I didn't mean to say. what-
So I signed these, this is the aging thing.
I'm done. Hey,
this is when you have part-time staff.
I'm gonna hold on.
Well, these are things we need to bring up and go over going forwards. If things aren't working, we gotta bring them up and say this is not working. Okay. The backside, any orders as well, right? Uh-huh. Okay, so there's some back.
Someone on the back.
Mhm.
Hmm.
It. It's not just that, we've decided that during this interim here, I need to be relying on him to be able to do stuff for us and take calls, so. I told him that. For the next couple weeks, because he's coming back in a couple weeks.
Sorry, we got so informal there, but we're closing out. Did Austin?
There was a spot on the back page that you need
That I
to
missed,
sign.
okay, thanks for double checking. There's probably, I'm sorry, I didn't go on this, I just made a direct decision.
Apologize to me.
Thanks, Tammy. See you later.
Bye.
11 o'clock, we will stick to that like glue, okay? That's what I missed.
Take this back for you. County has a list also that she was just talking about. Do you have that list? That she's waiting on? Do you know what it is exactly? I know she's talked about it a couple times. It's, okay. One of them was for Shane. That's a different one, yeah. Right, and that's, I talked to him about last week. He is actually, he looked it up and said he thought he could do it under one state statute, and he says it has to be done under another, and he's working on it. And then he also, just so you know, we had a text chain between the individual and Austin. They're talking back and forth.
Well, we're still in regular session here. I mean, we have a work session back though, but we're down at 10:52. We put a hard stop on this meeting at 11 o'clock. Because other people have work to be done, so. And we'll stick to that. If he happens to call in, we'll just get what we can. And then roll on. But our next meeting is Monday, 1 o'clock. We'll have a work session. Did we need to do anything as far as? Do we need to pass some sort of resolution or some sort of procedure that says every Thursday?
Until further notice.
We'll have that work session.
We're having a work session on Thursday. Is that what you're talking about?
That's the plan.
Normally, not this week,
So to meet the,
not tomorrow.
to meet the requirements of, you know, our coma and all
Okay.
that, the meeting stuff, I would make a motion that for the year 2026, we just have a planned work session every Thursday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, unless a holiday or unless there's yeah. So that's my motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so we moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Being done, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. Now, that being said, too, so I'm here on Monday, but my trip still is in effect, so I'll zoom in for our work session. I'll bring my computer. And Dallas, that's something I
Okay,
want to ask you.
is there a reason that, I mean, you're gonna be traveling, is there a reason that you have to do that? In other words, can we move the work session 1 week?
I want you guys to still have it. I don't want to be,
Okay,
Oh.
but in order to have it, you
But-
need to be able to zoom in, I don't know if you're gonna be able to do. that.
oh, yeah, hold on. We'll have Wi-Fi, so I want to stop in.
As long as you can, that's fine.
And I can phone in if nothing else. I don't want to stop progress because I'm not here, because it's not just that work session. See, I'm going for the next Monday meeting.
Correct.
And then I'll miss that second work session. It's a long trip.
Right.
You want to just not start till the second and the last week and that.
Isn't there stuff that you wanted to take care of first quarter? I don't want to give it away.
Yeah, but we will be taking, we can't take care of anything in those work sessions anyway, so I think we should forego the 2 work sessions, which are above and beyond what normally happens.
Is that what you want to do?
Let's forego those for the
But then
first.
I'll zoom in for the meeting.
That's correct. You'll be sorely missed.
Well, I appreciate that. Going out to your old stomping ground.
Oh, boy.
And Dallas, as far as our computer is concerned, if I bring that and tap into some sort, say I'm at the hotel and I get in their Wi-Fi, am I secure and protected with that iPad? We'll talk later. Austin, glad to see you. So we have
Good to see you.
4 minutes and change. We've got a hard stop at 11. So give us what you got. and-
Okay. All right. Well, I'll give you what I got. I'll do it quickly. Can you guys see me now? Is this okay? Can you see me or hear me now? Can you hear me?
Sure.
Can you guys hear me?
Now we hear you. We hear you. We don't see you, but we hear you. So go for it.
Okay. So I'll tell you what I've got. First of all, I've been working. I'm about done with the MOU. I had a prior, a draft MOU with the Kickapoo tribe because it's a tribe and not a different government. Formed under the laws of the state of Kansas. We have to go down an alternative regulatory path, but I've got an agreement that's lined up to help with that. And so I've got that rocking and rolling. I may have it done by the end of today, but I'm converting the 2 agreements. So if it's not today, it'll be by the end of this week.
Can you send Sheriff Merchant a text about that or an email about that? Just to update him where you are?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to. And I'm going to try to call him as soon as we get off the meeting.
Okay, great.
And then there's the temporary easement and the permanent easement. I'm finalizing that this week. We talked about that briefly.
And you're working with Tammy on that?
Yep. Tammy was able to get me the temporary easement description. I need to convert it from the PDF file that she sent over into Word. So that's going to take a little bit of time. Because they usually don't convert exactly perfectly on the legal description, but that's fine. And she did a great job of typing up the other format on the regular deed. So I was able to make some changes to that and we're pretty well good to go on it. And then we did have a couple of other personnel things that have come up that I'm sure you guys have talked about at some level. And so I plan to be engaging on that in the first week of the new year. One of them I'm going to try to work directly on and be in person for. And then the other one I'm just going to support as needed on the outside. You guys have a hard stop in 3 minutes, so that's my quickest report that I could give. And then there's other stuff going on in the background, but I want to listen and take questions.
Any questions for you?
One question, Austin. So,
Yes, sir.
okay, so you're listing the things you're working on. Tammy was in here just a few minutes ago because she was concerned that she hadn't seen anything. If you could just send Tammy an email saying, hey, you know, I've got this and you'll get it in so many days or whatever, that'd be helpful. But
Yeah, I'm gonna work on that. You guys probably heard that I had a kid in the ER over Christmas.
we did, and I hope everything's okay.
Yeah, everything's better now, but that slowed my progress down a little bit. Christmas Eve into Christmas, and then illness spread through the house. But no, I'll call Tammy on that. And in the future, if people have questions, if they could call me directly, instead of just, you know, that way I think everybody's got my cell phone number, but if they have a question as to timing, I mean, something may come up like that once in a while where, you know, somebody goes to the ER. If they call me directly, that'd be the easiest way to get an answer.
Okay. Fair enough. So, I'm sorry.
The comprehensive plan.
The planning commission resolution. This is about the two people that would be.
Oh,
voted
yes.
in.
Yeah, I believe that's got to go to the longer process. I've researched that, and so I think it's going to have a little bit of an extended process, but nothing that difficult. We may have to publish a notice about it, so I don't think it's something that we can just adopt immediately. But it doesn't change the nature or effect of who those two people are. They maintain their seats while we're waiting to do that. So that's on the list for. I think with these other items being sensitive to volume, I think I can get these other items done the first week of January. That's going to be on my list for the second week.
So if I reach out to the planning commission and let them know that the two people that it would affect, they're still in effect on the commission, and we are in the middle of changing that resolution or presenting a resolution that will move it back to a calendar year. That's all we need to do with that.
That's all we need to do with that right now. Yes, sir.
Acceptable to everyone? Yeah. Okay, wonderful. You did it. And time's up. So Austin, thanks a lot.
Thank you all.
See
And
you
I'll copy you. Yes, I'll see you Monday. I'll copy you, Richard, on the email to Tammy as well as to Sheriff Merchant. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know what? You don't need to copy me on that. Just as long as you reach out to them, I'm fine with it.
Okay. Either way, I just want you to stay in the loop.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Happy New
Appreciate
Year.
it.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
And we didn't say this on camera, but whoever sent us the cookie or crackers and cheese platter, thank you. And Merry Christmas and Happy
New Year.
Oh, I can see everybody. Merry Christmas.
All right, we'll
Thank
go
you.
ahead.
Happy New Year.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Bye, guys.
I move we adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, moving seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, meeting adjourned. Good job.